Teching.
Hi, Sai. How are you doing today?
Dude, I am great. Glad to have you here. And now that you're here, I have to just pop that cherry and ask you a question I ask every guest that arrives on this channel. What is your least favorite race in One Piece?
Oh, see, I saw this video where you were talking about the giants. So, you know, I'm going to throw out the mushroom people. Do you know about the mushroom people?
Yes. We only know about one of them, though, and it's like some slave in Big Mom's book.
It's a character in one of Big Mom's book. There you go. It's the mushrooms, yeah.
So you don't like the mushroom people?
No, I just, you know, they've only shown, they don't even show up. Oda doesn't even get them screen time, so I'm assuming that that's, you know, there's for a reason, I guess. Yeah.
Do you think it's one of those races that the Celestial Dragons just exterminated or tried to get rid of?
Possibly. It could be the last one, could be in Big Mom's book. Now, in One Piece D&D on Rustage's channel, I play a character named Kai, and that would be a different answer for that character. But here we are now.
Yeah, dude, like, I feel like for mushroom people, it's really... It would be a hard existence, right? Because, like, half of the time, like, if you're not being discriminated against, people probably just want to eat you.
Yeah, probably. Or just like a lot of people think, you know, fungus are like weird and they kind of just avoid them. Par, I think, was the guy, because Par is known for his theories. He mentioned one time that like the only other person in One Piece that has 4 legs, like in the same way that the mushroom people do, is Vanderdecken. Who, you know, is, you know, the enemy during Fishman Island. So it's just like, oh, maybe Vanderdecken is part mushroom. I don't know.
He kind of looks like it. I mean, I feel like if you have 4 legs, you could easily like plant yourself to the ground. Like, dude, just imagine like digging 4 holes and just being one with the earth. Yeah. Like that's crazy. You
got gills and spores and like, yeah, it's like maybe we'll see some mushroom people in Elbaph, perhaps. Maybe we'll see them there.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, like imagine they have a mushroom people farm. I mean, we have people like Road, right? Who has like a Lego farm in a way.
Yeah.
Just has a bunch of like slaves there. And apparently it's a known thing.
Yeah, it's a known thing, and you know what? I saw a comment on the review, and so we're recording this like the day. It's Friday when we're recording this.
Yeah.
And I just did the review, and someone commented like, you know, it is the place where war started. I don't think they'd really mind too much about people being kidnapped and murdered. And it's like, you know, okay, you kind of got a point there. So maybe they just don't care. Yeah,
I agree. Like, I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, it's Warland. Surely they're okay with war and slavery. But at the same time, they're like, but let me tell you, Prince Loki, he took it a step too far and killed his dad. Big Mom, you know, killed a bunch of people during a hunger pang. It's like, well, that's war.
Regicide is where they draw the line. When you kill royalty or your own parents, that's where they draw the line right there. So we know that much at least.
That is fair. That is fair. So the Yamato cover page story, it's been going on for 17 volumes. I gotta know, how do you feel about the cover page story thus far? Is it your favorite?
You know what?
Iteration?
It's not my favorite. I mean, my favorite cover page period is probably either Getatsu's or Enaru's. It might actually be Getatsu's because it's just so funny.
It's so stupid. I love it.
It's so stupid. He just ends up becoming the front room attendant at a bathhouse. It's great. I love it. But no, I mean, I really like Yamato's story, and most likely it's just going to be a very long one, because if Yamato's going to travel all the different regions of Wano, and we're only in Kuri right now, and it's 17 volumes in, I mean, this could be the longest cover page we've had so far if it keeps going at this pace. In the review, I talked about how it's so funny that Yamato is like, I gotta find the person that's kidnapping everybody, but first I'm just gonna have like soba, and then have rice balls, and then just watch Tama and Shinobu train, and now finally it's like, okay, I'm stealing this sword so we can get this moving. Like, we gotta get this moving. You know?
Yeah, like there was even a cover page where Yamato and Inarashi are sitting at the beach talking about the kidnappings, and Inarashi is concerned. It's like, Yamato, I'm really concerned about what's going on here, but they're not doing anything.
He's the daimyo of Kuri right now. He's the leader of this country, and he's like, I should really do something about this.
He's a dog. He could sniff it out. You're telling me he can't sniff some panties? Exactly. That's so insane to me. Like, and then plus, you know, Momonosuke, sure, he's a busy guy, but Kaido could turn into a dragon and fly around Wano for fun. You're telling me Yamato can't do the same thing and look for the kidnappers? Insane.
Yeah, you feel like one burst of observation hockey would be enough to figure out who the kidnapper is. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, unless they have like some invisibility cloak or something.
So this is a thing in One Piece. I want to get your opinion on this, and if just like Oda just doesn't care about this really, because if you look at this from like a meta perspective, nobody should be able to sneak up on Yamato. Yamato's observation haki should be good. There's no way you could just sneak up and grab something and leave without Yamato noticing. And it's like, but it happened, so...
Well, it's not done yet, right? They're in the process of grabbing it. So there is a chance next chapter Yamato's going to be like holding their hand.
Just like wake up and grab his arm and just be like, where are you going with that? You know, like that would, maybe.
I mean, do you think it's Shinobu? Because Shinobu's missing.
No, we saw Shinobu in the last... Well, yes, because she wasn't there. But the person we saw running away a few chapters ago was, like, not... Like, Shinobu is now back to her, like, rotund self.
So that's such a good way to put it, rotund.
Yes. Yeah, rotund self. So she is probably not the one that did it. Oh, you know what'd be funny is if Tama wakes up and throws, like, a kunai knife at the person stealing the sword. That would be good.
All that training's paying off.
Yeah, there you go. The training is prepped, and now she's a proper ninja, and she just throws the shuriken. Like, that'd be great.
Dude, I hate Yasui's blade. I'm not gonna lie. It's so hypnotic looking, right? It's got all these like crazy smile swirls. It's like, okay, Yasu, what are you doing here, man?
Yeah, dude.
Just start swinging it around. You can hypnotize people.
That was Yasu's thing, though, because if you even look at his like kimono he used to wear, it was all like the swirly pattern. So I guess that was just the aesthetic he liked. Yeah.
Even in death, he just can't escape the swirls.
I'll be honest with you, Sai. I have no idea who the kidnapper is going to be revealed to be. A lot of people have said like maybe Ulti, page 1, because we didn't really see what happened to them. Like King and Queen are in the prison. I guess the other headliners are there too, and like the but we haven't seen them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard part, right? Like, I do like it's the Beast Pirates or it's Blackbeard or somebody else, but it just doesn't make sense yet, because why would they kidnap women? Why would they want Yasui's blade? Why Minatomo? Like, nothing makes sense. Like, whoever you put in this scene, you have to, like, add extra things to it.
Yeah, the modus operandi is strange. There doesn't seem to be a collective element here. It seems like just somebody, like, kidnapping random people with no connection and stealing random stuff with no connection. So it's some type of I don't know, some type of like Meowth character that just collects a bunch of things. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the theory last week that people were saying, oh, it might be Mugen and Road, kidnapping women, but it's like, yeah, but like we don't have, that'd be a crazy trip, right? From Wano all the way to Elbaph just to add to your collection?
The last cover page ended up syncing up with with Pudding's getting kidnapped, and we saw her on Blackbeard's ship. It's like, oh, that actually linked up fairly well, but like, yeah, I don't think the timelines work with this, but that would be interesting if that was what was happening.
Yeah, that would mean that Road is like looking at Wano politics to see like, oh, Kaido's gone? Time to kidnap some Japanese women. I would love this. It's like, okay, all right, Rodo. All right.
Hey, Odin got in trouble with the harem wars back in the day, so, there's a precedence, I suppose.
Oh, what if this is someone wanting to be Odin?
Oh, what if it's another, somebody else claiming to be Kozuki Odin? Now, that is interesting.
But they just don't have the suave or the swordsmanship that Odin had, so instead of, like, them getting women naturally, they kidnap the women. And because they don't have the sword, they steal the sword.
But also Minatomo, though. So maybe they're like, I don't know, they're bisexual, or they're just like, hey, we need somebody to build a castle to, I don't know what the idea
build a throne or something.
What direction we're going here is,
Oh, yeah, they got Minatomo to build a fake Odin castle.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, that would be so dumb. I love it.
I'm liking this idea. Yeah.
So, on to the chapter, though. We got 11:30. We got the Straw Hats being separated, right? We got Frankie, Robin, Jinbei, Brooke, and Lilith, Bonnie, and Kuma all off the coast of Elbaph still. They decide to give up the search for the Straw Hats, and I feel like this should theoretically be uneventful, right? They're just going to sail to Elbaph, and then they're going to meet up, and yoo-hoo, that's perfect. But do you think something wrong will happen? Because they're not there yet.
I don't feel like anything's going to happen to them, because I feel like that's a little bit too much going on before they get into the into Elbaph. I mean, this chapter ends with a giant view of the island. Like, I want to get there and see what's going on. So I think this was just Oda wrapping this up. Like, they were searching the waters for them, couldn't find them. We had some nice stuff, like Jinbei mentioned he could talk to the whale sharks again, and that didn't help. I love Frankie's design here. He's like, hey, guys, we've looked for him, but let's just go.
Yeah. I love that he's taking charge too.
Yep, it's Frankie.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish we got more scenes of Jinbei just talking to fish. Do you think he does that on the side for fun?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Always remember the conversation that, you know, so after they escaped Impel Down, Crocodile was like, hey, Fishman talking to fish doesn't seem very, like, it doesn't happen very often. And Jinbei's like, what do you mean? Isn't that weird? He's like, I don't know. It's not normal if you ask me. So it's kind of a weird underlying kind of, like, where are you going with this, Crocodile? You know, just like, yeah.
You know how the Straw Hats have, like, the kitchen and aquarium in the same room?
Yes.
I would like to imagine they open the door and Jinbei's just right there, hand on the aquarium every day, just whispering to them, guys, I'm so sorry.
What if, yeah, you're all gonna die because this is what happens. The Straw Hats capture the fish in the aquarium and then Sanji fries them up for dinner. So that is actually not a logistical, that is just an existential nightmare of like what happens when they're making like fish for dinner? What is Jinbei's response to that, you know?
I like to imagine that at least once a month, there's like a mysterious breakout or like a mysterious shortage of fish. Like they're like, wait, what happened to the shark that was in the tank? And then Jinbei's just like scratching his head, like whistling.
No, guys.
I don't know, man. Jimmy escaped. I mean, the shark escaped. Like he starts giving them names.
If nothing else, after Jinbei joined, whale shark is officially off the menu forever. Like, because that would be weird,
Or just sharks in general. Like, imagine eating, like, a sawtooth shark, and then he remembers Arlong.
Yeah.
That's awkward.
I think that might be just a good idea, just because Nami's there. You probably don't want to, you know, remind her of Arlong too much like that. I think Sanji would be conscious enough to not prepare a meal like that. Yeah.
Ooh, or maybe Nami really loves it and she starts like stabbing it, like, here we go. Like,
revenge. Great. Thanks, Sanji. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I really hope Arlong makes a comeback. I love that guy.
So we were talking about this in a stream, and this is a dark thing. Have you read Berserk?
Yes. Love Berserk.
Okay. So, you know, I am under the belief that Arlong, along with Chu and Karubi, are imprisoned at Marijois, and they are like slaves there. Okay, that's Hachi escaped, and that's what led to his cover story and everything. But they're there right now. I don't know how this would go down, but if Nami at some point runs into Arlong as a slave, and, you know, the script is flipped now, but Arlong is like Griffith after the tower. Like, he's all emaciated, and he's like, it's disturbing because of how evil Arlong was to Nami and her village, but the Tenryubito are even more evil that they reduced Arlong to this. So what Nami's, like, reaction would be to that. We were talking about that the other day, and it was like,
I would like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, like, it would be for a storytelling element crazy.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, like, how far would Oda go with it? Like, would Arlong be like Griffin, where he's missing, like, you know, tendons, you know, missing a tongue? But either way, like, I do like if the script was flipped, because Arlong would see that maybe not all humans are bad after all. Like, oh, he's being saved by somebody here.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the idea he could be saved by humans, and I'm not saying like the idea that Nami would forgive him, because I don't want that message. I don't think works at all. Yeah. But like Nami just seeing the state he's in, and like, okay, even the most evil person I know, Arlong, doesn't even deserve this. Like, this is way too much even for that, you know. And then that like shows the humanity that Nami has and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then outside of Nami too, I would like Jinbei to see Arlong one last time.
That would also
I feel
be
like that
thing
just makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with their, you know, being on the same crew with Fisher Tiger and everything, yeah.
I mean, hey, we got that Don Krieg shout out a while back, so I mean, Arlong, it's in the cards, man. It's in the cards.
Now we just need Kuro back, and then we'll all be set. Kuro and Captain Morgan, and then we'll all have everybody.
Have you seen the long-spanning theory that this entire story has all been a part of Captain Kuro's plans?
No, I haven't.
He's the man of 1,000 plans. I mean, we're 1,000 chapters in. Hey, maybe everything here has been one big ploy from Captain Kuro. He's been the mastermind this entire time. He
upgraded from 100 plans to 1,000,000 plans. He can now see all directions. Okay, he knows what everything's gonna have. He see the future, basically.
Yeah, he's like Yuha Waha from Bleach.
Yeah, Yuha Waha from Bleach.
He just knows everything. I was just
gonna bring that up. Yeah. Also, this is completely unrelated to everything, but I love the fact that we both have Shure mics and that we both have stickers on them. That's just something I noticed.
Yeah. I remember I watched one of your videos. I was like, damn, I have the exact same mic. It's a great mic.
I love the mic. Yeah, Rustage got it for me because he was visiting, and I'm like, what's the best mic? And he's like, buy this. And I'm like, okay. And then I got the Shure mic. Yeah.
I just looked it up. I Googled, like, what's the best mic to have for a YouTuber? It was like, Shure. I was like, okay, I bought it.
Yeah, that one, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, never got another one afterwards. I mean, no replacements here.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so they're, the first page is just them hey, we know our friends. They'll probably be fine. Let's go to Elbaph and wait for them, and they kind of head out there. Yeah. Yeah,
and then the second page, we have Elbaph, and it is massive, bro. My God, like I relate to Nami. She's like, yo, it's so big, it's making me dizzy. And it's true, like, dude, I can't imagine everything being like 100, 1,000 times the size it is normally. Like, that sounds insane.
Remember, like, the size of the giants is big enough already, but for Oda to make this make sense, all the buildings would have to be big enough to accommodate giants. And, like, the scale of this and the way Oda has to draw everything it is really kind of, you know, as Nami put it, yeah, very dizzying and, you know, confusing sometimes. But, yeah, everything is massive.
Yeah, and when they break out, they see that they were actually in this weird castle that's connected to a bridge that's connected to Yggdrasil. Yes. And it's like, what building is this? Is this actually a prison that Road just has? Is this Road's house? Is it Harden's house? Like, what is going on?
The implication is, I guess, because Road said it used to be a giant detention center or a prison. Yeah. This is probably an old prison that is actually on, like, so the bottom of Elbaph is mountains, which are big enough, but then Yggdrasil is even bigger. But, yeah, maybe this is the new giant pirates, like, base of operations where they just set up shop, you know, and it's like they all live here, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, or it's just Rhodes' house and everybody just moved out afterwards. They're like, okay,
we don't want to live with this guy. Yeah. Gerda definitely moved out first. She's like, I'm not living here with this creep. I'm out of here. You know?
It's crazy what Garrett says. She's like, hey, I know Loki's the shame of Elbaph, but I think Road deserves the title more. I'm like, are you sure about that? Like, Loki kind of came in with regicide. He talked about how he wants to end the world. I'm like, I get it, right? We don't like Road. Road's a little bit weird, but is he really as bad as Loki?
Is he as much of a threat as Loki? Absolutely not. Okay, he's very, very creepy. Also, straight up a murderer. If those skeletons in the model were real. So yeah. Gerd has an adorable owl companion, and I love owl companions in, like, you know, any kind of work of fiction. So this is neat. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the owl is really sick. I mean, it even has a name too. They named it Piper. I was like, yo,
Piper.
That's cool. I wonder what other animals we're gonna see here in Elbaph as well. Like, I guess we're going to see one of everything, almost.
It's crazy to think that owl is the size of, like, probably, like, a 2-story building, like a house. Like, it's wild to think of how the scale is on everything here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to look at because, you know, Garrett and Goldberg, they look normal in their page, but that's because the Straw Hats aren't there for a reference.
Yeah, they do. They exactly look like you or me, and it's like if they're surrounded by everything that's, like, the same proportion, then yeah. Something else that's weird. The cat they were riding on just disappears, and it's in the one panel when they're breaking out of the wall, and then it's just gone for the rest of the chapter. So it's just whatever happened to it.
Yeah, maybe the hole they busted wasn't big enough, and then the cat just hit the wall, and that was it.
No, you see it like on page 2 in the very top left, jumping out of the building. It runs out. You even see it say meow, but then it's just gone after that.
Oh no, Road, get your cat, man.
The cat is running away. Get that cat.
Oh no, yeah, that's bad actually. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, so when Road gets caught by Garrett and Goldberg, do you think they'd be able to put everything together?
I don't know. See, the way they're describing it seems like they already know what's going on. Like, because Goldberg says, like, yeah, he's been kidnapping people for years and, like, trapping them.
He's just doing it.
So he's just doing it, and Goldberg's laughing while it's happening. So it's like, apparently they know, and they don't really care.
Yeah, it's just like a common thing, like, oh, there goes Roto again. You know, he's kidnapping some humans. Classic Tuesday.
Gerd is clearly against it, but, like, maybe this is the moment they're finally putting their foots down and trying to stop him from doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll be their first time seeing Roto in the cosplay, too.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be a little bit weird.
Dude, Roto right now, he got electrocuted by Nami, but that's probably not enough to bring him down. So he's probably, like, recovering from that and scrambling upstairs, trying to run outside to grab everybody. So
he's like half naked. He's like trying to change back into his regular clothes.
Yeah.
Oh God. You know, one thing that's interesting too is that we don't see Goldberg's shield, which I kind of wish we saw more of. I love the shield. I don't know what's going on with his shield.
It looks like one of Big Mom's homies. Could it have a devil fruit ability, or is it just a painted shield, like in the shape of a face? I don't know, but all of those options are fine with me. Yeah,
I would love if it's the latter, where he just painted a face on it. Like, we expect it to talk, and it just doesn't do anything. It just stays stagnant.
It's just a face. Yeah.
That'd be so good. So, yeah, I feel like Garrett and Goldberg, they're going to wrap everything up here. I wonder if they'll also find the Thousand Sunny as well.
Yeah, where's the Sunny at? Like, I guess the only thing I can think of is that maybe Road took it into another room and was planning on doing something with it later. Well, the idea is Munin the Crow steals the ships, brings them to Road. So Road might have like another room filled with like ships and bottles.
Yeah, that's
that
what
he's
I
like collecting, you know, because he doesn't keep the ships in the model.
Yeah. Ooh, or maybe he has like a fish tank and like the Thousand Sunny's like a little prop in there.
Oh, when he takes a bath, he uses the Thousand Sunny as a rubber duck.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, Road, he really messed with the wrong people here. I mean, it's just bad luck, really. Like, he didn't ask for the Straw Hats. The Straw Hats came to him, in a way.
Yeah, he sends his crow out to just kidnap random people, and this time it was the wrong person. You're like, you know.
Do you feel bad for Road?
The ass whooping he's about to get, probably? No, not really, no.
Damn. No love for Road. Dang.
No love for Road, dude. No.
I was about to say, do you hope we see more of him, though?
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to see more of him, and I think the more we see of him, it's going to be more pathetic as we go, because he wants to establish himself as the sun god, and like, I'm the one that's in charge here, and he's so totally not, and that's going to be like laid out very clearly multiple times in the future, I think.
Yeah, I just love how there's a running gag now that we're getting more and more Sun God as the series go on. Like, we had Luffy, then we have, like, Bonnie with their mimicry of the Sun God. We have Road.
We have 6.
Yeah, we have Loki. We're just going on, man. Oh, it just does not stop.
It's a thing where I think Oda's definitely doing it on purpose, where it's like, I'm just going to keep introducing more sun gods, and it's like to show you how ridiculous the idea of somebody claiming to be a god is. And Luffy does not say that, because Luffy doesn't even know the whole lore, really. So he's just like, oh, this is just Gear 5th. This is where I'm the most free. He doesn't call himself a god. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it also goes to show that, like, history can get kind of messed up because there's so many iterations of it. Like, yeah, Luffy doesn't know he's the sun god. Like, he's not going to pass down stories like, oh, like, by the way, I was the sun god and blah, blah, blah. No, it's going to be somebody weird like Road, who's like, yeah, this is how the sun god actually was, guys. He had a Legoland. Hear me out.
Yeah, because that's actually something very important to bring up. Loki and Road both, like, admit and say they are the sun god, whereas, like, Luffy does not do that. We don't know how Joy Boy presented himself. Maybe he didn't say it either, and just left it up to other people's interpretation, but that is interesting.
Yeah, it's like how there's like mini iterations of the Bible, for example.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, what's going on?
And like people keep popping up throughout history that's like, I am the prophet. You know, it's like, I've heard things from the Bible or something. And it's like, most people, like nowadays even, like, you know, every now and then you'll have like a cultist pop up that'll be like, you know, I'm actually Jesus. And it's like, yeah, no, I don't think you are.
Yeah. It's like American Horror Story where there's like a new ghost that pops up every episode. It's like, damn, dude, can we stop, guys? We got like 10 of y'all in the house now.
Dude, my in my baby book when I was born in 1993, my parents, like, there's a section for current events, and my parents actually wrote in like David Koresh and the Branch Davidians in Texas, and I'm like, that was a guy that thought he was Jesus Christ, and I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's in my Bible, my baby book. Yeah, there you go.
Now you just get reminded of that every single time you open it.
Yeah,
it's like a fun fact.
It's on the second page. So there it is.
So the Straw Hats end up hiding from Garrett and Goldberg because they don't know him. And I think that's kind of funny because it's like, yo, like, they're a part of his Grand Fleet. You would think that they would have some research done, but of course it's the Straw Hats we're talking about. They don't exactly do the research.
Oh, no, the Straw Hats definitely would not have done the research into, like, who is on Hiruden's crew. If Hiruden was there, it would have been different. Luffy would have recognized him, maybe. But, like, these giants, they've never met before.
Yeah, like, it kind of makes you worry. Like, dude, we accepted 5,000 people from the Yonta Maria fleet under Orlumbus. And it's like, I wonder if there's any psychopaths in there. Like, imagine there's like a little like Adolf Hitler in there, you know, among the ranks. And we just don't, or like a Blackbeard, right? And Luffy's like, yeah, that's my boy. And then you just see him walking around.
It's one of those things where it's like Luffy accepted, like, well, he didn't really accept it. They kind of did that like whole sake cup exchange for them. You know, it's just like, oh, we're under you now. And Luffy's like, all right, I didn't ask for that, but okay, you know.
Yeah, like, you never know, man. There's always going to be a bad apple, like Road, for example, right?
Yeah, Rodo, you know, perfect example of that, where he's like, I didn't even want to be on the Grand Fleet. They didn't ask my opinion on that.
Yeah, they got too big too fast in a way.
So they're walking across the bridge. We see a bunch of wolves down below, just in the forest. That's scary as shit, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, we see the wolves, and then they never get mentioned again.
Nope.
Just, hey, Luffy, there's wolves down there, and you can see them growling and smiling and, you know, slobbering, and then Luffy jumps down, and then he just shows up in front of Loki. So the wolves essentially got off-screened.
Yeah, I mean, the wolves, I mean, Luffy could definitely beat up these wolves. A lot of people brought up, like, Luffy going Gear 5th to defeat the snake was, like, way too much overkill. Like, why did he need to do that? But, you know, Luffy would be fine with those wolves.
Yeah, he's just having fun at this point. Like, I think Gear 5th, he just has a lot of fun. He laughs a little bit.
Yep.
Why not use Gear 5th, right? Master it.
Luffy also brings up that, like, ever since he was even in the Lego City, he's been hearing, like, these roars through, like, you know, his observation. Like, he's like, I know there's something going on here down in the forest. And he jumps down, and Sanji and Zoro are gonna go, and Sanji kind of keeps Zoro back. Like, no, we're not losing you in a forest. We'll never find you in this place. So Luffy just goes alone.
Yeah, I like that he goes alone too, because he feels like a captain. Like, nobody even questions it. They're like, oh, okay, see you later, Luffy. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yep, see you later. Well, you know, they know the song and dance at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it does bring up interesting question, like, I guess, the rest of the Straw Hats. So now Luffy's on the base of the tree. The Straw Hats are going to go up the bridge into Yggdrasil, and the rest of the Straw Hats are going to arrive at a port somewhere. So it's like, we're really splitting everybody up now.
Yeah, I remember back in Legoland, I think it was Zoro who said, hey, like, maybe we should look for the coast and find the ship and the others. And then now they're, like, going the exact opposite direction. They're going up the tree. It's like, guys. What about the crew?
There's only one bridge. There's only one direction to go. So I guess we go this way.
That is true. Yeah, you're right. Like, they can't exactly just jump off the ledge and go to the coast, huh?
I brought it up how nice it must be for Luffy. Like, I could just jump off of, like, 100-story building and no negative side effects are from that. Like, Luffy could just do whatever.
Yeah, you could just bounce. You could, you know, hover with Gear 4th. You could even do a UFO thing.
Yeah, so he can kind of fly. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next thing we see is we go back to the Elbaph ship, and we see that Dory and Brogy have a updated bounty, 1.8 billion. Absolutely insane. I think they're like in the top 15 highest bounties now.
Yeah, they would definitely be now. That inflation in One Piece world, man, that's a kicker. That'll do it.
Yeah, I never thought about that. They're like, yeah, you know, it must be different from 100 years ago. And it's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I ran the inflation. I did the inflation calculator just to see. And I typed in 10 million 100 years ago, and it would be worth almost 200 million now. So the rate of 100 million to 1.8 billion actually is accurate in our world. So Oda must have done something similar.
Yeah, Oda is getting kind of meta with this. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but even with Loki, people have been pointing out that Loki's reveal in this chapter ties in with MCU Loki's variant number.
Oh, does it? Wow, yeah. I didn't even notice that. Okay, 1130. All right.
Yeah, apparently in MCU, during the Loki TV series, he has the variant number 1130. Specifically.
So I only saw season 1, and it was like a few years ago when it first came out. I haven't seen season 2 yet. Yeah.
Me as well. And I think it was like announced in season 1. So I think that's just a crazy either coincidence or a meta thing from Oda. You never know nowadays, man.
You got a character named Loki in your manga. Obviously, there's going to be some references. I mean, even Loki's helmet having the big, long, exaggerated horns, like that is a comic Loki and an MCU Loki thing that he has a helmet that's like that. So it's like, okay, that's probably where Oda got that reference from.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. So I got to admit, I am very disappointed that we don't have more bounty hunters in One Piece. Because like, while these numbers are nice, it's like, dude, nobody's ever going to cash this in.
No, and it's also the question of, like, let's say one of the Marines bring him in, like an admiral brings him in. Like, does the admiral get the bounty? I don't think he would, because they're like, this is their job to be, you know, there. So we need to see more bounty hunters. I guess you could argue that's what the Cross Guild is, or used to be like Buggy's Delivery, like mercenaries and stuff like that. We're kind of bounty hunters, I guess, but we just don't see that many of them.
Yeah. I wish there was just like one crazy bounty hunter that goes after only people over 1 billion.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be insane.
Dude, you know who we need to bring back? We need to bring back Johnny and Yosaku to bring in Dory and Brogy.
Yeah, you think so?
They're the only guys that could do it. Hey, Yosaku is ripped now. If you go back and look at him, he's a fisherman, and Kokoyashi, he has giant muscles now, so he could do it.
Yeah, you think he's like powerful enough to take down these guys, though?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I kind of wish we got like the Donachino family back, even though they're not canon. Like, I thought they were kind of cool. Like, he had the heat fruit.
Yeah, one of the many fire or heat-based fruits that are in like so many filler arcs. There's like 6 or 7 people that have like a fire-based fruit in One Piece. It's really funny. But yeah, even that was cool because it was something different.
Yeah. There's even like one guy in like, I think the first or second One Piece movie who had like the second, the bear guy, right?
Yep, Bear King. Yep,
yeah,
he
Bear
had
King.
it was like the hard fruit, but if it's like you like heated up his arms and something, and the Donacino had the Atsu no Mi, and it's just crazy. And then you have Oven's ability, and then Ace, and then Akainu, and it's just there's so many.
Yeah, so many spins on it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So we see that there's an X on Luffy's arm in the newspaper. Is this Vivi?
It's Vivi.
Yeah, it's Vivi.
It's Vivi. It's Vivi. The thing that cinched it for me was that Robin even mentions that the picture is blurry, but the X is clear, which means it was photoshopped. It was added later. So somebody took a picture, we don't know who, of Luffy during, Egghead of Gear 5th. Vivi got the picture, took a Sharpie, and just wrote the X on it, and then that's the image they printed. That's what happened.
Do you think Morgan's knows? Like, surely he knows, right?
Probably, but he doesn't care because he's just like, whatever. There's an X on his arm. What does that do?
No big deal.
Matter. Yeah.
I like to imagine he was just arguing with Vivi the entire time because they've been going back and forth every time we see him. Like, I kind of feel bad for Morgan's. I'm not gonna lie.
Morgan, see, that's interesting because that was a big thing that Vivi was against. Like, you better not print this story that Luffy killed Vegapunk, and the story got printed. So there was maybe this was the compromise. Like, fine, you could print the story, but I'm gonna add this X. And he's like, okay, whatever, sure.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to come out of this? So the Straw Hats will see the newspaper. They'll realize that Vivi is A-okay. She's alive. She's not dead. She's not missing. Do you think the Straw Hats go for Vivi, or do you think they're like,
no,
okay,
Vivi's
she's
coming
good.
to them. Vivi's definitely coming to them. She's in one of the very few flying ships in all of One Piece that can actually kind of go anywhere. And it's a giant tree. So I could see like Morgan's docking the ship in Yggdrasil somehow, and then Vivi will be reunited with the Straw Hats. I also love the fact that it's the 4 Straw Hats that, Robin knows Vivi a little bit, but like they don't know the significance of the X mark, and the other ones that do are on the island. I love that.
Yeah. Do you think this might have any correlation? Which, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Void Century parallels at play. Do you think this might have some correlation to Emeth and the X's that he had on his arms? Or do you think that was merely just a design choice?
I don't think that was a coincidence. I think there's something going to be, when we go back to the Void Century, there's going to be a significant thing with Joy Boy and the X mark, and it's just going to be by coincidence the Straw Hats chose the same mark, but it's a pirate symbol, like X marks the spot, like that's the whole idea, right?
Oh, you're right. I forgot all about that. When I saw the X, I was just like, man, out of the entire alphabet, guys, come on.
It's a pirate like symbolism thing, right? Yeah. Even if you look at the One Piece world in the red line and the Grand Line, it's shaped like an X. Reverse Mountain kind of shaped like an X. So
a lot of X's going on, man.
It's around. Yeah.
Yeah. So we see a lot of Harden hype afterwards, right?
Yeah.
They're done talking about the bounties. They're done talking about the X. They start talking about Harden. They're like, "Yo, I heard you got Harden in your crew now."
And Prince of Elbaph.
Yeah, they just dropped that he's the Prince of Elbaph. Yeah, the King's own son, by the way. It's like, what? The King's own son? That is some crazy hype.
A little disappointed the King was not Odin. It was, and that might have made it a little confusing because, Odin is in Norse mythology, the All-Father, the king and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's King Harold, which is also a very Norse kind of name. It pops up a bunch of times. But yeah, I guess Hyruden is the older brother, and we don't know if they have the same mom. They might be stepbrothers. Half brothers, but yeah, Loki was the younger brother, and he killed Harold and ate this legendary devil fruit. And yeah, that just kind of gets dropped on.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, man. The Grand Fleet, they really got boosted in this chapter in a way.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I gotta ask, are you a fan of the Grand Fleet?
Oh, I love the Grand Fleet. It's just that it's not their story, so I want to see more of them, but I understand that, like, there's only going to be, like, one more major moment in the story where the Grand Fleet's probably going to be involved. Yeah.
In that final war, who do you think the Grand Fleet will fight? Or, what do you think they'll do?
Yeah, so I think it's going to come down to the Straw Hats, obviously 1v1ing all the Blackbeard's crew. I think that's kind of set up. I don't think the God's Knights are going to be that's the Revolutionary Army that's going to deal with them.
Yeah.
So in the case with, like, I don't know, maybe the Cross Guild kind of stuff, not Mihawk and stuff, but maybe some other characters. Yeah, I gotta sit down and, like, plan out, like, okay, Bartolomeo's got to get a fight. Cavendish has to get a fight. Who are they going to fight? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's, like, the one hang-up I have, because I'm like, I hope they don't fight anybody important in a way, because I want those fights saved for, like, other characters that make a comeback, like Katakuri and people like them. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Kaido and Big Mom are going to come back again, and Cavendish and Bartolomeo are going to team up this time and take out Big Mom.
Oh my God.
The final time.
Yeah. And then Harden takes out Kaido.
Yeah!
Yeah, there we go. So who's your favorite Grand Fleet member as of today?
Probably Bartolomeo.
Yeah. What is it about him that does it for you?
The fact he's a Straw Hat fanboy and that Oda just put that in the story is great. And also, his Devil Fruit is actually very cool to me. The idea of having an indestructible barrier, that is cool.
Yeah. Did not save him from Shanks, but, you know, he needs to train up that hockey, that's for sure.
Yeah, he may be, like, it's a question. Like, if Shanks swung his sword as hard as he could with hockey, could a barrier block it? Like, it's like strongest force against a movable object. Like, what happens there?
And it looks like Shanks won.
Yeah, Shanks won.
My favorite Straw Hat Grand Fleet member as of right now is Orlumbus. Because I love stupid characters, man. Like I can't overstate it, but I love goofy things, and I just keep on thinking back to Dressrosa, how Orlumbus would just yell at people, and they would follow his orders for no reason. Yep. No Devil Fruit, by the way. Just he yells, and people are like, "Oh, yes, Orlumbus."
Yeah, yes, Admiral. Like he has this commanding presence, and he also just picks up people and just bowls with them. He just throws them around. You know, I actually love that scene where Zoro needed to get to Pika, and Orlumbus just picks him up and just throws him as hard as he can. Like, that was cool.
Yeah, and then he also has, like, a whip, too, which doesn't make any sense. Like, he's, like, a slave driver or something.
He has a, from what we can understand, like, a little kid on his crew that's, like, the vice captain, and her name is Columbus.
Yeah, and it's like, wait a minute.
From the cover page. And she is, like, a terror on the crew. Like, she's the one that's like, you know, you haven't cleaned the deck good enough, you know, this week, you know, off to the brig with ye, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we have Columbus, we have Orlumbus. I wonder what we're going to get next. Do you think they're going to keep on deconstructing the name and we get more and more people of his crew?
Maybe more people on the fleet. You know, it's the Yonta Maria fleet, you know, so that's one of the names of Columbus's ship. So there's obviously a motif here.
Yeah. I just like to imagine we're going to get a Rolumbus bus. And just like, they just keep on taking away one letter and they just keep on adding in new characters.
Yeah, just down to bus. Hello, your bus.
Until we have just the letter S.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, S. So we see that Loki. We get the Loki lore here. And they're like, yep, by the way, Hardin wanted to come, but there was trouble here in Elbaph, right? We got somebody called the Cursed Prince. A Cursed Prince is what TCB went with.
Yeah.
And we learned that he killed his dad, ate the devil fruit, and all that good stuff. There's a question that comes up with this. Did Loki's dad eat the devil fruit and then Loki take it from him? Or was the fruit just passed down and he just took the fruit?
See, this is what I was thinking about. I didn't mention it in the review, but I was thinking about it afterwards. Like, is this just a fruit that nobody eats? Because, like, what would be the points?
Yeah.
Of, like, whoever has it, like, has nobody ever eaten this? So I don't think that's the case. I think it is... There might be... We might learn more about devil fruits here, even more than we might have learned about in Egghead. And we might have learned, like, the actual process of, like, somebody dies and there might be a way to, like, reincarnate the fruit close by so that the next person can eat it. It's kind of something similar to how Blackbeard got the Guru Guru no Mi from Whitebeard's corpse. There was some trick to transfer the power there. The Giants might know that. Loki might know that.
Yeah, you're right. Like, it would be kind of weird if they just passed it down and never ate it. Unless it's like a fruit meant for a specific somebody. Like, maybe they're waiting for the sun god to arrive, or maybe they're waiting for, like, the final war.
Yeah, because they are believing in, like, Ragnarok, like the end of days. But they also say Ragnarok will only happen, like, if Loki breaks free, not Ragnarok first, then Loki. So it's anybody's guess. But I was thinking about it, like, what if King Harald had a devil fruit power, Loki killed him, used the same technique Blackbeard used, and absorbed the power? There you go.
Yeah, people were saying that maybe Loki ate King Harold, but I feel like that would take way too much time.
No, I think that'd be too, like, it also, we already did that with Big Mom. That might be one way to do it, and clearly there is a way to get a devil fruit ability without doing that, because Blackbeard did not have to eat Whitebeard in order to get the power. Yeah.
And then there was also Burgess, who was really confident that he would take Luffy's devil fruit, and all he had was a knife.
Yeah, that knife,
that's still so crazy.
Theorizing about that. Like, this is a special devil fruit stealing knife or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it was, like, hollowed out to a certain extent. Like, there were, like, holes in the blade.
Yeah, it had holes in it, so maybe that was something. I don't know. Maybe it was some kind of material that steals devil fruit abilities. I'm not sure.
I feel like that would be banned due to the Geneva Convention, though. I feel like that would be a war crime. Yeah,
it would probably be a war crime. But we're in the war land, though, Sai.
That is true.
Keep in mind, all war crimes are off the books when you're in the war land.
Except for regicide and eating people. Those
Except
are
regicide and
too
eating
far.
people. Yeah.
Damn it.
Maybe it wasn't the cannibalism. Maybe it was just the fact he killed his dad. They were okay with him eating him, but it was like, okay, well, you just can't kill your dad though. That's the rule.
Yeah, dude, that's the king. Come on.
Yeah, come on. You don't kill the king.
If you're gonna do it, you have to like challenge him to a duel or something.
Yeah,
like a fair 1v1.
That's how you do it. That's the only way you could beat the king. Yeah.
So after we get that terrifying story about Loki, we see Loki in person. Luffy is right in front of him, and this guy is massive. He looks pretty cool. What were your first impressions when you saw him?
He's so goddamn cool. Like, yeah. He's chained up to the tree. He's got the tattoos all over him, the buckle, the bandages, blonde hair and the tassels. He has an axe on his back, which I love how in One Piece they chain people up or lock them away, but don't take away their weapons. Like Crocodile was allowed to keep his hook in prison. And just like, yeah,
makes no
Loki's
sense.
Chained up, but he's allowed to keep his axe. It's like, okay. It's like, yeah, it makes no sense.
I could see the axe. I also thought it kind of looked like a hammer. Because we don't see like the full scope of it.
No, we don't. But I think I'm just feeling the vibes that it's an axe person.
No, axe makes a lot of sense. I mean, it would also mirror Luffy too, right? You got two kings, two sun gods, both with axes. Yeah, I like that.
And both prophesied to destroy something because Elbaph is apparently going to get destroyed by Loki, and then Fishman Island was prophesied to be destroyed by Luffy. So Loki, Luffy. So I don't know if there's a parallel there. Yeah. Also, giant tree in Elbaph, giant tree in Fishman Island, mother tree Eve, father tree Adam. Maybe. Yep.
Yeah, they both tag team and destroy the trees. That's so
at the
bad.
Same time.
I feel like it will be beneficial if they do this, I think, but it doesn't seem like it, right?
The idea is that I think Luffy will end up leading to the ultimate destruction of Fishman Island, and Loki will end up destroying Elbaph, but the world will be ultimately better off for having done. Yeah.
Like, maybe we come to find out that these trees actually are not beneficial.
Well, maybe they're not, yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know. Like, all I know is, like, the Fishman Island is going to be destroyed. Noah's going to be used to bring the fishmen to the surface, so they'll be able to live on the sun. You know, I don't know what's up with Elbaph. I have to still think about that one.
Yeah, Elbaph is weird. I mean, the only thing I could think about, like, the one benefit is that maybe this tree is bad for the ocean, because we have these waterfalls coming out, and it's like pouring out of the branches and the top of the tree. Yeah. So maybe this tree is doing something similar to what the sunlight tree Eve is doing, where the Eve tree, takes sunlight from above and then brings it below. Maybe this tree takes water from below and brings it above, and that's somehow bad.
I interpreted it like this. That's just the tree was so massive, and there's so much stuff like in that upper canopy that like lakes and ponds and rivers just start to form in the tree.
They just exist,
and then waterfalls just pour off of it down into the next layer, and then down into the ocean.
I can see that too.
The scale of Elbaph is just absurd. Like, keep in mind, all those things at the bottom are mountains. Like, and then that's how big the tree is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, in that outside shot, you can't even see the castle that the Straw Hats were on.
You can barely see it. It's right there, yeah.
It's like a bunch of scribbles.
Yeah, compared to the size of this thing, yeah.
Also, speaking of size, the biggest thing you can notice is the sword.
Yes, there's a sword just jammed into it. Who used that? Who could use that?
Like, that's like a planetary threat right there. Like, we're talking about Galactus coming down and wielding that blade. That's massive.
That is bigger than remember the sword that Kaido kept in his front yard, like the big sword in Onigashima. That is bigger than that by several orders of magnitude. No ancient giant could lift that up. Like, San Juan Wolf at his highest point could probably not lift that up. Like, the only beings that are big enough to lift that sword would be like the Thriller Bark, like eldritch beings we saw in the fog. Like, that's the only thing big enough to wield that thing.
Yeah, we don't even know what those are yet either.
We don't know what they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just imagining this has to be like Sun God Nika's sword, maybe Joy Boy's sword at their like pinnacle form. Because Luffy's a human, he can turn into a giant due to Gear 5th. Maybe if you're already a giant, you could get even bigger.
Luffy's with his ability could get so big that he could pick that sword up. Now, he would be the size of an island, but I can believe that with Luffy because of Gear 5th. Yeah.
But also, I don't think Luffy would do it because, like, Luffy and swords, like, he'll pick them up, but he doesn't know how to use it. Like, he'll start punching with it.
He doesn't know how to use them, but he knows they're cool, and he would probably see that and try to pick it up. Yeah, I could see him doing that.
Have you heard of the popular theory it's making a comeback? It was present in Wano, but it's making a comeback now in 2024. So back in Wano, people saw that giant sword, and they said, yo, maybe Kid will magnetize the sword in Wano. But that didn't pan out, which is fair. But we're in Elbaph now. Maybe Kid will magnetize this.
So where do you think Kid is at right now?
So I personally think he's still at the bottom of the ocean, and I feel like...
So he's dead then.
No. Hear me out. I think Kid got eaten by a fish in a good way. You know, so sometimes, you know, the suck ain't that bad. I think Kid is eaten by fish, and as the Straw Hats who are off the coast of Elbaph progress onto Elbaph, Jinbei's sharks will say, hey, Jinbei, there's somebody down here, man. I think we found your captain. And then that's how we get like this goofy scene where Kid just pops back up.
I love that. Let's print it, add it to the manga. That's canon now. The only thing I would add to that is include Killer also in like the shark coughs up Kid and Killer at the same time. They get like Jonah'd like in the whale, but they still somehow survive because it's air in there. You know,
just something silly.
Oh, that would be so funny. Yeah.
Because like when you think about it, like Kid, Killer, they're exactly what the Straw Hats off the coast are looking for. Like, hey, we're looking for a pirate captain, a swordsman, and a pirate ship. And then the fish would be like, yeah, dude, we have this down here. And then they bring him up, and it's just Kid and Killer. I think that would be a great comedic moment, and it could still happen. I mean, you know, Jinbei did say he was talking to the fish.
Tell you what, that was a believable thing, too. I could buy that. Like, they get knocked unconscious by the attack. Their ship is destroyed. Some of the people on their crew definitely died. But and Robin even mentioned, like, maybe they got eaten by a giant fish. I'm like, it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, Robin talked about, like you said. And plus, Killer and the gang talked about it as well. When they first came to Elbaph, they were like, whoa, these fish are freaking massive, dude. So I think the fish will play a part with Kid.
I like that idea. Let's go with that. Because I don't think Kid is dead. I mean, like, Oda's not just going to kill him off. Yeah.
I mean, you even mentioned, like, Kaido and Big Mom earlier. Like, I still think they're alive, too.
Oh, they're definitely still alive. Yeah. They're going to pop back in at some point.
Yeah.
Oda's just going to take a break for a while. We focused on them for a long time.
Yeah, when they come back in, it's going to be like a reduced capacity. Like, they come in for, like, one, like, small assisting role, and then they're like, okay, it's the new generation's time. Like, we're done. We're old.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll definitively die. I think they'll come back severely wounded from the magma. Like, they'll be all scarred up and everything. I don't know. I don't know what Oda has planned for him.
Yeah, we're going to get Charred Mom. Which, you know, funny, speaking of Big Mom, like, if she were here on Elbaph, she'd just be like Small Mom, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's true. And also, like, everything connecting back to Big Mom with the death of Jarl, which one of the ones she killed, and the connection with Loki and everything with Lola. Like, that's... oh, by the way, Lola turned down Loki. I don't know, man. Like, I'd marry him.
He's not a bad looker. I will admit, though, like, when I first saw him, I did see Django. I think it's like the smile, the goatee, and the hair, but I was like, oh, is this Django? What's going on?
There's a little bit of a Django there, but like, yeah, I saw somebody comment that, like, I guess Lola wasn't into bad boys that are trying to destroy the world. I'm like, maybe that wasn't her type. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe she was just being realistic. She's like, hey, you're like 1,000 feet tall. I'm like 5 feet tall. Like, this isn't going to work, man.
Big Mom canonically has a child with a Tontada.
Yeah, Big Mom made it work, right?
Big Mom made it work somehow.
You know, but if you switch the roles, though, like, maybe it's not as easy the other way around, right?
So, yeah, that might be a little bit of a... That's a
like, you would literally be swimming in children.
Like... Also, the idea that, like, because the whole premise is, like, Loki was scorned by Lola, like, Lola turned him down. It might not actually be the case with it, because Lola's marriage to Loki was arranged by Big Mom. So maybe Loki had necessarily a problem with Loki, but it was like, I want to get married to the person I want to get married to. I don't want this to be arranged, and that's why she left, not realizing it would start off this, like, international incident. Because Lola at Thriller Bark still thought that, like, Big Mom would help the Straw Hats and she would, like, be nice to them and stuff. She had no idea what was going on.
Clueless.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, so we see Loki, right? And he's like, I'm the sun god, and I'm gonna end the world. And it's like, oh, wow, that's a crazy announcement, right? Like, you just met the guy, and you're already announcing this?
He's just been waiting for people to talk to. You know?
That is also true, right? I don't know how long he's been chained up here, but he's also blindfolded. He's got nothing to do. So maybe he just wanted to state his business quick and simple. But it makes me wonder if, like, Lola is a key reason as to why he's like this.
Oh, like, he just got turned down and he immediately is like, all right, I'm just going to end the world now, I suppose. It's like,
yeah.
Dude. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he ate the legendary devil fruit, and he seems to fully accept the idea that, like, I am the one that will bring about the Ragnarok, and I'm just all about that, and I'm cool with it. You know?
Yeah, he's... Okay, so do you think he's a good or bad guy?
See, I'm still on the fence about that because they really hammered in this chapter that he's a bad guy. They keep saying over and over again, he's the shame of Elbaph. He's the worst giant ever. He killed his dad. He took the fruit. We chained him up. He's an awful guy. And I'm like, yeah, but is he, though?
Yeah,
you know?
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, you know the Luffy effect, right? People meet Luffy, they change a little bit. So I wouldn't put it past Loki to change as well. And plus, Luffy... He's a good judge of character, right? He's kind of dumb, but he's a good judge of character. And in these last pages, he's smiling. It looks like he's talking to a friend almost.
I love the idea of just like, hey, you know, I am Loki, the sun god that'll end the world. Who are you? I'm Luffy. I'm going to be king of the pirates. Nice to meet you. Where are we at right now? What's your story?
Yeah. Dude, do you think Luffy's going to let this guy go?
It would be in his wheelhouse to do.
Yeah, right. Like if Loki says, "Hey, let me out. I want to go," and Luffy's like, "Yeah, you know what? You should be free, man.
Yeah,
I'm free. You should be free."
Luffy goes gear 5th, rips the chains off. Like, yeah. So,
oh my god.
One cool thing about Loki. So Loki and Hiruden are apparently brothers. Hiruden is not weak by any standard, but he is not super strong, right? Like, Hiruden struggled to defeat Mach Vice back at Dressrosa. So he's strong, but like for a giant, but that's it. Loki is apparently so damn strong that it took all of the armies of Elbaph to chain him on this tree, and they barely were able to do that. So I'm thinking it's probably more of whatever fruit that this guy ate gave him some god power, like beyond. Yeah.
What do you think it is? Oh my god, Jinx.
We said it at the same time.
I don't have a good guess, right? I am leaning towards mythological Zoan. I know that's a boring answer because we've gotten so many recently. We've gotten so many crazy
people have said
transformations.
Maybe it's Fenrir, and I'm like, because Loki can turn into a wolf, and I'm like, I get it, but like that's what Yamato can do basically. Yamato turns into a mythical dog wolf. Like the same thing with Loki. I would be kind of disappointed in that.
I think my problem with Fenrir is that whatever Loki has, whatever transformation it is, it has to be something that makes him think that he's the sun god. So it has to have some kind of fiery properties, maybe some stretchy properties even. Like, because unlike Road, right? Road called himself the sun god. We knew that he was BSing. He got introduced in a chapter called RPG. Like, he's role-playing.
Yeah, but he's role-playing, yeah.
Loki's different. I do feel like whatever he ate does make him believe that he's a sun god. That's why people have been bringing up the Gomu Gomu no Mi. I don't think that's
I brought it up in the review. Like, what if Luffy's like he has the sun god fruit, the actual one, but there is a Gum Gum fruit, and this was the one the whole time.
That would be cool. My only like qualm with it right now is that Vegapunk said that, you know, it's not recorded in any Devil Fruit Encyclopedia book.
Because it's been in Elbaph the entire time. But Vegapunk also did visit Elbaph. That is also true.
That's the hard part. And Vegapunk seemed like an esteemed guest, right? He went to the libraries. He was welcomed there because we learned that you can't exactly trespass on Elbaph. You have to be welcomed or greeted. So it's like, yeah, Vegapunk is one of those guys. So I feel like he would have known, but I don't know.
I also feel like the place that Saul was that had the giant library might have been that fortress on the 2nd tier. You know? Yeah. So Elbaph, like, Yggdrasil is laid out like the mountain layer on the bottom, like where the Straw Hats, where the castle was, Roto's castle. And then the next layer has this big giant fortress with cannons. And then there's another tier after that. And I don't know if there's anything in the forest. I also thought, like, can you go in the tree? Or are there, like, tunnels in the tree itself? Because this place is huge.
Oh, I would love that. I would love if there's tunnels in the tree. I would love it if there's tunnels underneath the tree even.
So there in Norse mythology, there's Nidhogg. That is the serpent that gnaws on the roots of the trees. So there could be something down there. Oh, man.
Yeah, Elbaph is a trip. I mean, we're only 4 chapters in, and we got so much.
And really, this is the first proper chapter, because up until now, we were in the Lego City.
Yeah, we were in a singular room.
Yeah.
Like a little bird cage.
And now we see this.
With Loki's eyes, what do you think is going on there? Because obviously, like, there's no way they just bandaged it for no reason, right?
No, maybe the eyes have something to do with the Devil Fruit ability. Like, he activates his power, and it's anybody he sees gets, like, incinerated or something. I don't know, like a Medusa
like Ghost
effect.
Rider.
Yeah, like a Ghost Rider, or maybe it's like petrification thing. I don't know, but they bandaged his eyes up for a reason.
Yeah. Do you think he has a Sea Stone on him right now? Sea Stone
chains?
Yeah,
I would imagine that would have to be Sea Stone. Yeah, definitely. Because otherwise, if he has such a strong Devil Fruit, he'd be able to escape. Just the fact that so many chains are used to, you see the panel where he's all chained up, and it's like, man, they really did not pull out any stops for this guy. Yeah.
No, I mean, even his feet are chained up too.
Everything is chained up.
Yeah, no chances. I'm surprised there's not a guard here.
Yeah, no, you'd think there would be. Yeah.
Yeah, a guard, or maybe just somebody constantly stabbing him with a little spear.
So in the actual myth, Loki is chained up with the chains made of entrails of his own children, because Norse mythology is really metal. And there's a viper over him just dripping poison on him constantly, and when he shakes, that's where earthquakes come from. That's the story in Norse mythology. Yeah.
See, that's like Chinese water torture, but on crack, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Instead of just water droplets, it's poison.
When he is like yelling, it's like Luffy even says like, "Oh, it's shaking again." Actually, no, it wasn't Luffy that said that. Those were the Straw Hats on the rope bridge that were saying that as a speech bubble. Yeah.
Damn, Loki, man. I'm excited. I wonder if he also has like the double irises that Mihawk and Eam have.
Yeah, Mihawk and Eam have. That would be interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to the most on Elbaph? Like, thinking of the future, what are you looking forward to?
I cannot wait until we start exploring, because geography is everything with me.
Yeah.
So I want to explore this place so bad. I want to see what's on the lower level, the upper tiers, what if you go in the tree, on top of the tree. I want to know everything. Like, how high up is it? I want to get a height on this
you
so
want
bad.
The specifics?
I want the measurement of this tree so damn bad, Sai. You do not know.
I love that. No, I mean, for me, I would love to see... I want to see more cool giants, because up until this point, I've been pretty damn racist against the giants. Like, they're not my favorite race out there. They haven't really been all that impactful to me yet. But now that we're here, I'm starting to like feel it a little bit, right? Like every character we get, I'm like kind of grooving a little bit. I'm like, okay, like this is good, right?
Yeah,
Gerd with the owl, not bad.
You know, Goldberg had a cool shield. Gerd has an owl.
I really like Roto too.
Roto looks cool. He has, well, I mean, like when he was getting all creepy and like, you know, like his
That's
nose
what I
was
liked.
Like, yeah. Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. When his nose started changing up a little bit, I was like, okay, all right, diversity.
Like, oh, this is my precious Nami action figure. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Did you see what they did in the Viz? They called them ultra rares.
Yeah. They got the ultra rares and the secret rare Straw Hats. Since Harold is dead, but apparently that happened a while ago, does Elbaph not have a king right now?
Yeah, it's like an empty throne, huh?
Yeah, because Hyruden was clearly not mentioned to be the king. He's off traveling around. He's a pirate. Loki's chained up. So who's the ruler right now? Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if there was a Colosseum match to become the next king. And they have all of the Son of the Kings out there. Like, maybe Loki was supposed to participate. Harden's in the tournament. Maybe there's, like, a bunch of other brothers and sisters who are also about to do it, too.
Just two.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah. Like, dude, if you know anything about, like, you know, Vikings, man, they spread that seed, man. They're indiscriminate.
There's a lot going on. I wouldn't be surprised if Harold had multiple wives and...
Yeah. You could probably just, like, walk by Harold and you get pregnant.
That's how it's like Chuck Norris kind of a thing, you know. It's how strong he was. Yeah.
So I'm expecting a lot of brothers and sisters, and Harden might be like at the bottom of the tiers, and he has to like rise to the occasion.
I think that'd be a cool story. Like because it's like a Loki Thor situation, does that make Haruden like Thor? And I'm like, I don't think he is. We might find out there's another prince, another brother named Thor or something. Like that. Or
Thorson, or you know, something that like is an offspin of it.
Yeah, something similar enough, yeah. But the way that, considering the names of Rhodes, like, pets, like Munin was the crow and Jormungandr was the serpent, we might see Fenrir, but Fenrir might not be as relevant as everybody thinks. Fenrir might just be, like, the pet wolf of a character or something, and that's just, you know, it's not some crazy mythical character that can, like, end the world or something.
Yeah. I mean, like, for Loki here, right? He's in a forest by himself, and we saw there were a bunch of wolves in the forest. So maybe Loki is friends with the wolves. Maybe the wolves are, like, he names one of them Fenrir. Like, that could even be the case, too. Because if you're chained up to a tree and the wolves are hungry, I mean, how do the wolves not kill him?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe probably because of how intimidating he is, they don't even want to get close to him. That might also be the reason they don't have a guard posted. Like, that increases the risk of him escaping. And also just, like, nobody wants to go near this guy. Because they literally talk about him like, he is the harbinger of the end days when he gets freed. So no one wants anything to do with the guy.
All right, I'm gonna be honest, man. Am I a little bit cruel? Because if there was a guy on my island that it took everybody to take him down, and he is still spouting that he wants to end the world, would we not just execute him?
I don't think you can.
You
so they
like
mentioned he was supposed to be. They was supposed to be like he crucified.
Yeah.
And he escaped, and then they chained him up. So it's like they must have tried it. Maybe it's because of the devil fruit. Like even in a weakened state, he's too damn strong. You can't kill the guy.
That would be nuts. Yeah, he just keeps on regenerating or something like the Gorosei.
Yeah, maybe it is something similar to that.
Yeah, dang.
Did you see the rainbow in the center column between the two? It's in the where the fortress is on the other side of the tree trunk. There's a little rainbow too. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's like the Bifrost Bridge in Norse mythology. So I'm like, ooh, maybe that's the Bifrost.
Oda, he's having fun, man. Like when it comes to Norse mythology and just having the Viking stuff in general, like Oda's been waiting for this ever since like chapter 14 of One Piece, where he talked about like Vicky the Viking and he drew Luffy in the little Viking outfit. It's like, dude, this is it.
This is it. This is 20 plus years of all of the ideas that Oda has coming to fruition.
So spinning off of this though, One Piece anime. You've been watching the anime. You're up to date.
Yes, yes.
How do you feel about the 6-month break? Are you looking forward to the Fishman Island revamp scenes?
I actually am looking forward to it because Fishman Island was like a really... I remember like reading the time skip in high school and then like getting into the anime after that, and it's just like, man, this is like kind of nostalgic for me because it's crazy to think the time skip happened like 14, 15 years ago in the manga. Like it's that long ago. So yeah, and some of the animation doesn't look the best, and it would be cool to see the updated version of that. I'm okay with the 6-month break because I like time goes by so quicker, and for me now, for whatever, I think I'm just getting old. But it's like, you know, whenever One Piece goes on like a 2-month break or whatever, it seems to just fly by for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you just close your eyes, you open them, and like, oh, One Piece is back. It's good.
Yeah, we're back already. Yep.
And plus, like, there's so much with One Piece. Like, it's such an expansive series that even if there is like a prolonged break in the manga or in the anime, you still have so much to talk about.
Yes, that's the exact idea. Like, you just have so much to go on with the story because it's just so expansive. And now Oda definitely left us with a meal, like with a feast after this arc, you know, this chapter. Like, have fun with theorizing for this for 2 weeks, you know, bye.
I'm about to go to Barnes & Noble and pick up a Norse mythology book, never read it, and just hop onto Google instead. Like, I gotta research a little bit, yeah.
I have a few Norse mythology books over here. I've read a few, but ultimately Wikipedia. Yeah,
Wikipedia, you know, trustworthy websites, like that. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier. It's nice when you can just Control F and find what you're looking for.
So how long do you think Elbaph's going to be? Because there are people saying that like is like, oh, like short, like 25 chapter arc. Probably not going to be that long. It's like, no.
So Egghead Island was about what, 70-ish chapters?
Like it was like 66 to 70, somewhere around there.
Around there. I would say 80. I'd say 80 for Elbaph.
I think 80's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think Loki is going to be the big bad villain here, or do you think we will even have a big bad villain, or do you think it's just going to be mainly lore?
They're setting this up so obviously that he is. I'm going to say he's not for right now. It's really hard to make a determination if he is or not. Yeah.
Yeah, like, even though he says he's going to end the world, it's like, will he, though?
The idea that also, like, in so many works of fiction, Loki is always painted as, like, the villain anyway. And the MCU kind of twists that around because there's a whole show about Loki right now. And he's definitely not, like, a good guy, but he's not, like, a hero either. He's not a bad guy necessarily, but not a hero either. It would be cool if Oda twisted it and be like, Loki's actually the savior the whole time. You know, maybe it's something like that.
we don't know his motive yet. Maybe ending the world is a good thing. He's like Obito, right?
Yeah. Or like we talked about earlier, the destruction of the island itself might help the world in the long run. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm kind of curious to see like why he would want to like destroy Yggdrasil, because he doesn't say it verbatim like, oh, I'm going to destroy this tree, but we all kind of assume it, right?
The idea is that Oda shows us this such a cool tree, and just think about how awesome and also terrifying it would be for this thing to get cut down and like fall down. It would be like, oh my god, it's the end of the world, right?
Yeah, especially if it's the Atom Tree too, because it would hold so much significance. Like that's what makes so many like grand ships in the world.
I think it is. I think this is the Atom Tree. And every now and then, a giant will rip off part of the tree, which is probably highly illegal, and then sell it on like the black market. And that's where Frankie ended up buying the lumber. So I think that's how this works. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of Straw Hats here, you mentioned Frankie. What about Usopp?
Yeah.
Do you think Usopp will have any significant growth on this arc? Are you one of those Usopp arc believers?
Yes, I am. I am 100% because Usopp has had like nothing in this story since he unlocked observation hockey against Sugar.
Yeah.
That was like the last moment he did anything really that epic. So he needs to get Mjolnir. He needs to get the Usopp hammer for good. He needs to maybe go through, like you talked about, like a Coliseum, like maybe a trial, some kind of trial the Giants do to prove their manliness or something. And maybe Usopp and Luffy could participate in that or something. And then Usopp comes out the other end like, you are a true warrior of the sea. I would love that. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at too. Like, I think he does need some sort of upgrade. I mean, even in his past couple of fights, like, he has been very ineffective. Like, I'd be fine if Usopp was weak, but he's just actually ineffective. Like, against Page 1, for example. Like, Usopp used everything in his arsenal. Nothing worked. I was one of those guys. I was like, dude, Usopp's gonna beat Page 1. I feel it. I was like, dude, Nami versus Ulti, Usopp versus Page 1. It's done. But nothing worked.
I don't even think it would have been that ridiculous for Usopp to beat Page 1. He's the weakest of the Flying Six. Like, that would have been fine if he figured out a way to defeat him, and Big Mom punches him and takes him out, and that's it.
Yeah, it could have been like 50-50, like with Nami and Ulti, right? Because
exactly.
Big Mom hit Ulti, so maybe Usopp just takes him down the other 50%.
But people, if that did happen, people would say Big Mom's the one that did all the heavy lifting. Usopp just did the final attack. So I feel like Usopp beating Page 1 all the way through could have done that, definitely.
Yeah. We need more Usopp stuff, man. Like, I think he will get something here. And I feel like it's not like copium either, because Elbaph has been built up for Usopp for a long, long time now. It's directly tied to his dream.
I mean, people were saying Zoro and Wano, but like, other than the fact that Zoro has swords and it was like that, there was never really a huge, I guess because Ryuma, and that didn't really go anywhere. But the Usopp Elbaph thing has been established for well over like pretty much the whole length of the manga almost.
Yeah, and I'm pretty confident to say that Zoro did get a lot on Wano. I mean, he got Enma. He got Conquer's Haki, King of Hell Mode. Like, he got a lot there. I
should have rephrased. A lot of people just wanted his family line explored, which it was, but in a SBS. Like, it didn't really... Like, Zoro never had... And I was mad that Zoro didn't even have the moment at Ryuma's grave. Like, we didn't even include that. And I was like, okay, I get it. We want to move on, but like, you could have had one chapter for that.
I remember watching the anime, and they added in a scene where Zoro visits Yasui's grave and Pedro's grave. I'm like, wait a minute. Where's Ryuma?
Where's Ryuma? Like, the whole thing. Like, but hey, what are you gonna do? Maybe we'll get a flashback to it at some point.
Yeah, some crazy flashback. Like, Zoro's about to die, or like he's in a crazy battle, and then he remembers Ryuma's grave for some reason. Kind of like the Shimotsuki guy in his village.
Yeah, and then a ghost image of Ryuma appears before him, like, Zoro, use the sword. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, Zoro, I'll teach you how to do a black blade like me. That'd be kind of scary, huh? Are you scared of ghosts?
No, not really. No.
I used to be like really scared of ghosts as a kid. I mean, it's kind of like
as a kid, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's waned nowadays as I get older, but there is still like that small part of me that's like, if a ghost ever pops up, I can't fight it. I think that's the one reason I'm scared of it. Because like, if a werewolf, for example, knocked on your front door right now, yes, you'd probably lose and die, but you could try to fight it, right?
You could maybe try to fight it,
hit it, but you can't fight a ghost.
Silver that I could stab this with or something like that, sure. Like, now, do I still get creeped out if it's like, it's nighttime and I'm like in my basement and I have to turn off the lights and run upstairs? It's just like, oh, it's dark down here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get kind of creeped out every now and then. But yeah, that I have the same logic with like, so I'm terrified of wasps, like yellow jackets and stuff.
Yeah.
And if a yellow jacket was huge, it'd be like, that sounds terrifying, but at least I could punch it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's big enough for me to physically hit.
Just give me some chopsticks and I'd go in too. Like, I just catch it out of the air, man. Just
I'll take a katana and slice a yellow jacket in half. I could do that.
There's really good wasp spray out there. Like, I have like a whole can of Raid, and my God, it shoots up to 30 feet. Oh, dude. Death on contact?
Dude. So I have the good shit. I have, there's a kind that I got that I tried. I had a wasp nest in like my gutters. Like, I couldn't reach it. So I sprayed Raid in there. Didn't do anything. I tried like 3 different kinds of like bug spray. And then I got this heavy duty stuff. And it killed them dead. I have no idea what's in it, but it wiped them out immediately.
Yeah, I think wasp spray, it needs to be like checked out by the Geneva Convention, man.
Yeah, it does.
It's dangerous, man. It's dangerous.
Biological warfare, for sure.
Yeah, I do the same with like flies in the household too. Not like raid, but if I see like a fly or something just hanging out in my house that I want to kill, like a spider, for example, that I don't want to touch, I'll usually whip out like Windex. Like you'd be surprised. Windex actually will make their like wings and legs really sticky so they can't move. And it's like, yep, you're just going for the kill after that.
Yeah,
I feel like Roto.
How are you with spiders overall? Because like the only bug I'm freaked out by is yellow jackets. If I'll see a spider in my basement, I'll usually just let him do whatever he does. You know.
I usually kill the spiders myself. I have 5 cats, so if I don't kill the spider, they're gonna eat it. So it's like, yeah, I'd rather just kill it and not risk them getting like a stomachache or something.
If the spider is in a really precarious location, like right at the bottom of my steps, I'm like, all right, buddy, you moved into bad real estate. I need to relocate you here. You know, yeah.
Yeah, if it's like outside, like around my house or apartment, I'm like, it's fine. Yeah. Let them go.
Yeah, it's just a spider. Yeah.
Yeah, but the minute they get too close to my door, though, just the hand of God comes down.
What's the name of the cat behind you that's been just chilling out there the whole time?
Oh, that's Yuzu. He's so fat. He's an obese cat.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Big cat.
16 pounds, man. He's a pound above. I've been a bad like cat parent on him. But he just eats so much.
My one friend had a cat that was so big. I don't even remember the cat's name. I just always called him Chubbs because he was just like big. And he hung out on their kitchen table all the time, never moved. So I'd walk into their house and just Chubbs be hanging out on the kitchen table. I'd be like, hey, Chubbs. And like, eh.
Yeah. And that would He's just waiting for food in the kitchen. That's all it is. He just doesn't move.
On the kitchen table constantly. Yep.
I watched a documentary about a 30-pound cat named Bo Nugget. And it seemed awful. Like, dude, he lived a horrible existence. They called his ass Bo Nugget, man.
That sounds like a morbidly obese cat that just like wouldn't be able to like do anything. That's awful.
At some point, it's like it's a bad owner. So like they tried to like help him, and they started putting his food like upstairs or downstairs, and Bo Nugget had to walk up or down, and that was his exercise for the day, which is barely anything for a cat. But I guess it's better than nothing for Bo Nugget.
Yeah, at that point, you'd have to like that cat needs to be taken out and given to a proper care at that point.
Yeah. So we're at the point of the podcast episode where we kind of just shoot the shit. By the way, so I gotta ask, man.
Sounds works for me.
Yeah, like what have you been up to lately? Like any video games, any movies?
Yeah.
Cool things.
I got Sparking 0, but I haven't played much of it yet. Because I've just been this past week. I've just been filming a bunch of stuff because I'm going to Mexico next week on like vacation.
Oh, huge!
So I had to film some stuff to get ready for that, and this weekend's really busy. So I've just been up with that. I was messing around with some Baldur's Gate mods. That was fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
What Baldur's Gate mods do you have right now?
So just like all the good ones, like God mode, and like you can have like all the party members all at once. There's a polyamory one that I saw that you could just like you could romance everybody at once, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to try that one out.
Man, I remember like when I was going through my first playthrough of Baldur's Gate, I was so upset that I couldn't romance more than one girl because I was like, like Karlach, but also Shadowheart, but also Minthara. Like I can't pick. What's going on here?
I remember my first playthrough of that game, and it's just like, wow, I knew nothing, and I only probably completed like 25% of the game. Like how much I skipped over so much in the first playthrough of that game.
It's so good, man. I need to play it again. I've been waiting for it. Like, I feel like I wait for like a year or two to pass until I go back into a game like that because it's so big and it takes up so much of your time. But it's definitely worth it.
I just noticed you have the Yu-Gi-Oh card back there. Are you a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan then, I guess?
Huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I play Master Duel all the time. I haven't played the most recent like season, but I'm really into Yu-Gi-Oh.
And also your thumbnails, I remember, always have the Yu-Gi-Oh art on there.
Yeah, so for spoiler videos, I try not, well, one, I'm lazy, but two, I try not to put like anything spoilery in the title or in the thumbnail. Yeah. So I try to be a little bit respectful there because I know like sometimes it just pops up. Like I'm not going to put Loki in a thumbnail for a spoiler video like a week before. So I like look for a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh card artworks. Like I would never like put Loki in the artwork of the review that I put out like before the official. Even when the official did come out, if I reviewed it then, I wouldn't put Loki in the thumbnail. Yeah, sometimes I'll flub up and I'll think something's okay, but it isn't. But I try my best to like stay as spoiler free as possible when it comes to like thumbnails and stuff. So yeah, like I'll grab a Yu-Gi-Oh card that's kind of related to the chapter. Like I'll admit I was kind of bad this week because it was a Loki chapter. I put Loki of Acer as my Yu-Gi-Oh card thumbnail, but it's so obscure, nobody's gonna notice it. It's nobody's gonna like, and Loki and Yu-Gi-Oh look so weird.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch 5Ds and you see Loki and Thor and Odin show up, you're like, who the hell are these guys, man? Come on.
Yeah,
nothing like this guy.
So me and my friend Briggs just finished a progression series of Yu-Gi-Oh on Twitch where we played from like the Legend of Blue Eyes set all the way up to like it was the Lynx when we finally stopped. We're playing the One Piece TCG now, and we're gonna go back to Yu-Gi-Oh later. But it was so much fun.
Yeah, dude. I've been with Yu-Gi-Oh since I was a kid, and I've just stuck with it. I don't collect the TCG cards, but it's because it's so expensive. But
yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Now I just play online.
What is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card?
My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. I'm gonna admit I don't really have one because it changes. I go based off of art style and like the way the card looks.
So another question, like side one, I don't know if you collect them, but like what's like the rarest card that you own? Do you have anything like graded or anything like that?
I have nothing graded. I try to avoid that slippery slope because there was a point in time where I would dump hundreds and hundreds of dollars into Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It was so bad. Like my first couple of jobs, you know, in high school, I would save up like all my paychecks. I'm like, okay, time to go to the card shop. And now looking back at it, I'm like, oh God, what was I doing, man? Like, I don't even have those cards anymore.
Right when I started working at Dollar Tree and getting money, I would like buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm like, I don't think this is a good investment. But my favorite card is Jinzo. And when I was in London for MCM, I found a original, like, you know, Pharaoh's Servant Jinzo secret rare. I bought it. And then I graded. That was the only Yu-Gi-Oh card I've ever graded. And I have that upstairs in my room. And I'm like, that's good. I'm not going to do any other cards. And maybe 2 or 3. But but I'll keep them there, yeah.
Okay, here's a good one then. Like, if we're going to go like OG cards, I really like the alternate artwork for Blue Eyes White Dragon where he's on the skyscraper and you see the crescent moon in the background and it has the signature at the bottom right. I like that one a lot. Cool one.
Now, my favorite artwork for Blue Eyes is the original from the starter deck, when it's more of like the elongated head. Same thing with the Dark Magician. The starter deck artwork is the best for the Dark Magician.
I hate that they stopped printing those, and like those aren't like easily accessible in like the Yu-Gi-Oh games now. I think there's like some copyright thing going on with them or something.
Maybe, could be.
But yeah, it's so rare to find nowadays. But I absolutely love those. It's so nostalgic.
Classic Yu-Gi-Oh is so much fun to play.
Yeah. So what's your like favorite deck recently in Yu-Gi-Oh? Have you been keeping up with the
meta?
So you know
what? There's so many. So when we were doing progression, we were going through the meta. I hate pendulums with a virulent passion. So I never played pendulums a single time throughout the whole progression series. But I really like the King of the Skull Servants deck. I just like,
classic.
Really, I dominated that week when I ran it. And me and Briggs had a thing where you can ban a card after like a certain number of duels. And after that duel, Briggs immediately banned King of the Skull Servants because he did not want to deal with that bullshit again. And such a good deck. Love that deck.
Yeah, just Floodgate. Just, you know, dump all the cards in the graveyard. You're good to go.
That's a really good one. Lightsworn was good. I found a bunch of archetypes I really enjoyed. My favorite before was Six Samurais. That was the one I really liked beforehand.
Yeah.
But Lightsworns. And then there was another archetype I was really good at. I can't remember, but there was quite a few.
I really like Scrap. The Scrap archetype was one of my favorites, but it just really sucked. There was no point in time with Scrap ever competitive. I also like Ghost Tricks because they're kind of memey. They're like cute, chibi ghost things. So I want to
try. I tried Ghost Tricks and I failed horribly because I had no idea how to run them properly. Because we just like pick a deck and go. So I had like 5 minutes to learn Ghost Tricks, and I'm like, I don't know how this works, and I just stumbled. I've been reading up into them again, and I get what the premise is now. Like they set face down and they flip face up, like they're scaring you, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. I see.
It's all about I think it's Ghost Trick Ghost or Skeleton. Skeleton. It's the one that mills 3 or 5 cards. You just use that to just mill your opponent's deck, and that's it. Which, you know, nowadays, that's not exactly great because maybe they can activate cards in the graveyard or banish cards. But actually, no. Skeleton actually banishes it face down so they can't use it.
Yeah, that's the new way to get rid of a card permanently. Banish face down. They can't do anything with that.
Yeah, just wait until they add an archetype that utilizes that, though.
Yep, exactly.
They always do that, man.
They always do. It's so frustrating because it's like back in the day, it's like, oh, I destroyed your card. Nowadays, there's entire archetypes that are like, the graveyard is basically my second deck, bro. It's like, there you go. It's like,
Like, Tearlaments are awful, dude. I mean, I love Tearlaments because they're such a great archetype, but the minute you mill Tearlaments, it's like, yeah, they're gonna go like +1 on your turn. Like, it's done. Like, you thought it was your turn, it was their turn. Still. Yeah,
I think, I don't remember if we did Tearlament. Is that like fairly new? I think we stopped around 2019. Yeah.
It dominated the meta for like a whole like 2 years until they like heavily banned all their cards.
Yu-Gi-Oh's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why
the current meta is ridiculous.
One Piece TCG is probably the better route to go.
Definitely. I mean, it's a newer game. It only has like 8 boosters, but we played a game the first time I ever played, just getting random cards. Odin was my deck leader, and just threw some stuff in there. And I messed up a lot of times, but this is how you learn. You know, the card game, it is what it is. And it was a lot easier to learn than Yu-Gi-Oh! Definitely.
Yeah. So now I got to ask, are you a Walmart guy, Target guy, Costco? Like, what is your preferred supermarket? Where do you like to shop?
My mom worked at Walmart for 26 years of her life, and I worked at a Dollar Tree right next to that Walmart.
Yeah.
So it's Walmart, unfortunately.
Dude, yeah.
I live in a town that actually has a Target now. I've been in there a couple of times, and I've never been in a Costco. We don't have Costco around. We have a Sam's Club, which is like the big box version of Walmart, the big stock. But other than that, yeah, no. So I'd probably say Walmart, but I don't get my like groceries there usually, like my fresh meats and stuff. I'll go to a proper like like a deli and like a butcher for that.
Yeah. No, dude, I used to love Walmart, man. I'm the same way actually. My mom isn't like yours where it's 26, but my mom was there for like at least 15 years. She had the badge and everything. Yep. So like I used to go to Walmart. I have like the 10% discount still on my phone. So I still use that today.
Yeah. She has it for life. She retired recently, but I remember going to the cashier meetings with her when I was a little kid, because like my mom had to go to these meetings at night and no one could babysit me. So it's like, okay, you're coming with me, and then we'll just sit there. So yeah, Walmart's great. But now I've transitioned. I'm now a Target guy. Target, it seems like I mean like Walmart has more options. I would say when it comes to clothing, I'll go to Target over Walmart.
Yeah, better clothing over there. Same price almost too.
Yeah, it's pretty comparable. Yeah. There's also a Starbucks in my Target, so it smells like coffee whenever you walk in, and that's nice.
Yeah. So as far as movies go, what do you prefer? Horror movies, action, anything?
I'm a big fan of horror movies. Yeah. Especially like classic like slasher films like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. I watched Halloween the other day actually. But yeah, I like pretty much like I'm trying to think of like a genre of movie that I like disdain. My dad really wanted to see the Ronald Reagan movie, and I went with him to see that, and I was like, all right, yeah, it's the Ronald Reagan movie.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
But now you can say you saw it though.
I saw it. I certainly saw it. I love history, so I'm like, okay, they reference stuff that I knew about and some stuff that I learned from it. But like, yeah, that's a movie that exists. Saw Beetlejuice recently. That was really good.
Oh yeah, Beetlejuice is good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw Cuckoo. That was one movie that came out recently. Usually, I just kind of wait for Vudu to like drop the movies online. I just watch it on there.
Yeah. I've used Vudu.
Yeah, it's really simple. Just hop on, just boom, $5 done. I also watched Trap, which is kind of interesting. It's a movie where like this guy and a daughter, they go to like a Taylor Swift concert essentially, and then
I saw the trailer for that, and he's like a serial killer.
Yeah, he's a serial killer. That's like the whole premise, and he has to escape. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I saw the trailer for that. I'm like, that's an interesting enough premise. I might see that.
Yeah. There's also Abigail. I thought that was a banger this year.
Abigail, what was that one?
Abigail is a movie about there's like this group of ragtag criminals who kidnap this little girl, and they try to hold her hostage, and they're like, hey, your dad's really rich, once he gives us all the money, we'll let you go. But it turns out that the little girl is actually a vampire, and and she's not trapped with them, they're trapped with her.
I've
and it's
never
so
heard
stupid.
of this movie.
It's good.
I gotta look into this. That sounds so clever.
It's really clever. I think the writing is good, and the characters are all pretty endearing. Like, it really surprised me about how good it was. It sounded dumb at first, but it's great. It's so good.
I gotta check that out. Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Yeah. A lot of good movies nowadays, man.
There are. I mean, like, it's such a different climate now with, like, going to the movie theater versus, like, just streaming at home. You get every movie, like, on demand and stuff like that. But, yeah, I still think there's a place for the theater and everything like that, clearly. Yeah.
So, going back to One Piece, though, for a minute.
Yes.
One Piece movie. Do you think we'll get one soon? And if so, what do you think it'll be about?
I think the next one is going to be announced fairly soon. A lot of people are thinking it's going to be One Piece film Rocks. It's going to be about Rocks this time. I think that'd be a little bit too overreaching. Like, film Red, we got all excited for Shanks, and Shanks, he's in it, but like, we don't
10 minutes maybe,
We don't find out anything about Shanks. We don't learn anything about his past other than like, oh, he had a adoptive daughter. Like, okay.
Yeah,
anything
the
else?
most we got was like out of the 4 billion volume data book, right?
Yes,
like the Figarland stuff, the crew stuff. Like, okay, that's big. But that
he was
in the
found
movie.
at God Valley as a baby. Yeah, it was not in the movie though, so it was like maybe they didn't want to spoil people, I guess.
Yeah.
The Figarland family, that was dropped in the movie, but that was pretty much it as well. Yeah, the next movie, so a lot of the movies will base it off the previous arc in a lot of ways. Like Bullets in Stampede was essentially Kaido. Like he had the exact same like backstory as Kaido. Like he was a super soldier, raised up and everything like that. So, and then the SSG stuff, the streaming snails was film Red. So maybe we'll get some Elbaph-esque stuff like Giants or something in the next one, maybe. I don't know. I
think it'd be cool if Oda introduces a brand new race in a movie and he ties it into God Valley and how the Celestial Dragons hunt down specific tribes. And then we have like the one survivor. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a cool premise for a movie. Yeah, there's definitely ideas with some One Piece movies are just like popcorn flicks, like Stampede was just fun in theater, but it's not a good movie like the way it's structured.
No.
But you could do some fun stuff with it. Yeah.
Wait, what was your favorite One Piece movie then? Usually Stampede is like people's go-to.
Really? See, Bullet is not a good villain. He's just big, tough, strong guy that punches really hard. That's all he is, you know?
The ending wasn't that great either when they started CGIing him and he got like really big, like the classic, oh, here's a big guy you could just punch.
You can barely make out what he is in the movie, though. It's like so clouded with CG. But my favorite one would probably be, man, it's a toss-up between Gold or Strong World. Z is also Film Z is really good too because Zephyr is a really good villain. But I'm leaning more towards Strong World right now just because Shiki.
Yeah, Shiki's cool. Do you think he's gonna make? Okay, wait. Do you think he's gonna make
definitely
a comeback?
Canon? Yeah. Oh, he's definitely gonna show up at some point, 100%. Yeah.
Do you think he's the man off the coast?
I hope he is.
It looks like him, right? I mean, we got like
looks kind of like him. Yeah,
it looks like him. It's just a silhouette.
Just a silhouette, but I feel that silhouette is Shiki's silhouette.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the hat. He's got like the same slimish body, the crazy like coat almost. Yeah, I feel like it's him.
Yeah, what's your favorite movie?
It would have to be Film Red. That's gonna be a hot take.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
I know we didn't get a lot of Shanks, but I really enjoyed Uta's character. I think it's pretty relatable. You know, just she was abandoned. She knows the reason why, but she still isn't happy with it because the people around her just made these decisions for her. Yes. So I can understand the frustration she had. And then as the only thing I disliked was Tot Musica. Because, again, it's just a giant CG monster that people just wail on. Tot Musica didn't even fight back. He literally stood there and took every attack.
It's so funny, too, because it makes no sense. It's like there's a demon realm that can be accessed with this devil fruit. I'm like, okay, you're losing me really quick here. Uta, though, you could write a whole dissertation on that character. Like,
yeah,
you know,
Uta.
Girl isolated from the rest of the world, then becomes the most popular streamer in the world, then develops parasocial relationship with everybody, then starts downing trucker pills to stay awake. It's like, oh, God. And then she just dies. God, that's brutal.
Hey, presumably, there's theories out there that says that Uta's alive, and that they're crying at her because she woke up.
The first time that I saw the movie, I didn't even get the implication that she could be dead, and then the second time I saw it subbed and dubbed in the theater, and the second time watching it, I'm like, did Uta die? You know, is that the implication? I don't know.
It looks like it. It looks like it.
Have you ever seen any of the earlier One Piece movies, like 1 through 7?
Yes. I forgot one, which is the Dead End Adventure, but I remember,
Dead End
like,
Adventure is actually good. I like it. Yeah.
Dead End Adventure, is that the one with Gasparde?
Yes, Gasparde, and it introduces Shuraya, who's like a prototype version of Sabo, basically.
Yeah, he's like a bounty hunter Sabo.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the earlier One Piece movies. The only one I dislike, Clockwork Tower or Clockwork Village or whatever, whichever
Clockwork
one it is.
Island Adventure. It was
that one. 2. Didn't like that one that much.
So the first 3 of them were only like 50 minutes long, and they were short films at like a festival. The first proper theatrical movie was Dead End Adventure, was number 4. So numbers 1, 2, and 3, I think were aimed at more of like a children kind of audience, and they weren't meant to be super serious. And One Piece was not as hugely popular as it is now, so they just kind of like, One Piece movie, whatever.
Yeah, we'll do something with it. Yeah, I think one thing that I really like, it's not exactly a One Piece movie, it's like an OVA, but when they retell like certain sagas, like we had the East Blue Saga, but we also had the Chopper one. And during the Chopper one, they introduced Wapol's, I think, cousin, right?
No, his brother.
His brother.
Yeah, Mushiro.
Yeah, I thought he was super sick. And then Luffy had Gear 2nd fighting him. I was like, yo, that's awesome.
So that is movie 9. That is actually a movie. So they did movies 1 through 7, and then 8 and 9, where 8 was just Alabasta abridged. And 9 was a retelling of Drum without Vivi, but with Frankie and the Sunny there. And yeah, they introduced Mushru, who does show up in the movies every now and then with Wapol. Not in the manga, but in the movies he does.
Yeah, I hope I don't think he's gonna be canon, but I would love if we just get like a random like reference to him, like like just a one-liner. Wapol's like, my brother wouldn't like this. Just something silly.
That'd be funny. I'm going to see my brother and see what's up with him now.
Yeah, he looks at the camera. He's like, guys, my brother. Wait till my brother hears about this. It's just like an ongoing joke. It's like Ed and Eddie.
Mushru shows up, Wapol sees him, and then just a little note appears at the bottom of the manga panel, like, go see movie 9 to understand who this is.
Yeah, they just break the fourth wall. Which, I gotta say, so I've been watching a lot of, like, recent animes. I keep up with all, like, the trendy ones. And one thing I've noticed is that a lot of modern anime, they have really distinctive facial expressions. And I really admire that. And I realized that in these past couple of chapters, ever since we hit Elbaph, Oda's been doing that. Like, characters have been getting more expressive.
Are you referring to Dandadan specifically? Because I'm loving Dandadan.
Yeah,
right
Dandadan specifically.
Yeah.
I saw the facial expressions there, and I was like, wow, like it's so fun. Like, it's so different, unique. I love it. And then in this chapter, for example, we had Lilith. You know, they were talking about, like, apparently, you know, Luffy killed me. And then she had X's for eyes, and I was like, oh, wow, that's adorable. That's hilarious.
That's nice. That's
new.
Neat. I like that, yeah. I didn't even notice that part. That's cute. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, Dandadan's great. What are you watching right now, other than Dandadan?
Dandadan and I don't watch I don't watch like a lot of the new anime coming down the pipeline and stuff. I'll just watch the same. I'll watch Dr. Stone for like the 15th time.
That's fair.
But yeah. In fact, I think Dandadan is probably the only one right now. Like, it came out a little while ago. It's over now, but I am watching Frieren. Beyond Journey's End.
Good.
Yeah. I'm watching that one.
Love Frieren, man. Season 2 is announced. You got to catch up.
So yeah, I'm like episode 10, so I'm almost like halfway through.
Yeah. Not bad. I've been watching ReZero. That's a series that's got season 3. It's out currently.
So I've seen like the first, like way back when I was in the anime club at my university. I think we watched like the first episode of ReZero, and I was like, oh, okay, it's like an isekai kind of thing. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, isekai. But it's a little bit more tragic because the guy has like no real powers. All he can do is just die and reset the world, and he can't pick how, like, he can reset it.
Does it ever explain how he ends up in that world?
You get hints here and there, but they don't exactly tackle it yet. Apparently, even in the light novel, they still haven't, like, directly tackled that subject.
Okay, yeah. I got the impression, like, it's not that important. Like, they're not really going to address it too much. Like, that's not the big deal. It's just, this is the situation he's in right now.
Yeah, I think one thing I admire about the ReZero series is that there's so many spin-off novels on like what if he did something differently, and I thought that was always really cool. Like, I kind of wish One Piece did that. Like, what if the Straw Hats went here instead? Like the Chopper movie.
I love the what if content when it comes to like because I've made videos about it too. Like, what if Luffy became a Marine? What if Luffy saved Ace? What if the Straw Hats didn't do the time skip? What would happen if they just went into the new world? It's always fun to like theorize about that kind of stuff.
What if the Straw Hats recruited Polly and not Frankie?
There you go.
Just something silly.
Yeah, something crazy. I did one time. What if the Straw Hats recruited a new member every single story arc? And I went through every arc, and somebody actually drew an epic double-page spread of every character that I referenced in that video, and it was so cool.
Whenever I think about like having a bunch of characters like that in a double spread now, I just think back to this one meme that I'm sure you've seen in the past, but it's a meme of like all of the dead characters of One Piece like holding out their hand and saying, "We've come to help you, Luffy." Like the Corazon is there, Pedro's there, like just every dead character is just right there, ready to help Luffy in the final. Or like Ace is there too, like, "Hey, Luffy, I'm back."
I want it to be like a like a Lord of the Rings, like everybody's here for the final battle type shit. You know what I mean? Like yeah. We have Nojiko arriving from Kokoyashi with Genzo.
I hope that's the case. I genuinely do hope that every character, not like dead characters, but like characters around the world come in and help. Like Usopp gets injured, and then boom, here's Kaya the doctor.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
just something like
Kaya,
that.
And like Kaya, like Kureha's there to help out Chopper, and then Kureha looks over at Kaya and is like, "Hey, you're a pretty good doctor. You want to train under me?" And Kaya's like, "Sure." And like all these characters interact in a way that we never saw before. It would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, like Zoro's fighting Mihawk, and then he gets knocked down, and then his Shimotsuki instructor's like, "Zoro, what did I tell you about swordsmanship? Come on."
It's like, "Sensei, what are you doing here?"
My headcanon is that Van Augur is going to do this. Like, I don't know how or why, but maybe Van Augur awakens and he just teleports everybody in the world to like one location, which would be insanely busted for a guy who can barely master his devil fruit, right? Even on Egghead, he's like, "Hey, I haven't mastered it yet." But
I think that's a plot of I think they do that in Fairy Tail. I think there's in the final saga of Fairy Tail, it's kind of a thing where there's like, we need to get every character in one location. So there's a lady with magic. I think it's called Universe 1, that she just condenses all of the geography into one location. And it's like, okay, everybody's here now. Like that's the idea.
It'd be kind of sick. I don't know why.
It would be cool.
Like, this would have to be an ally that's doing it, because there's no way, like, the world government would want this. Like, that'd be the worst nightmare.
No.
They're already so heavily outnumbered that it's kind of ridiculous. Like, I kind of feel bad for the world government. Like, are you on the mindset that the Marines will betray them?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's going to be Marines that'll be loyal to the end, but there's, like people like Smoker and Fujitora are going to be like, okay, no, this is... that we're being led by... Like, if Fujitora learns they're being controlled by giant eldritch yokai monsters... Fujitora is gonna like, fuck that. I'm not listening to you guys anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And then plus there's like the whole Garp thing, right? Like, if the world government doesn't go and save Garp, I feel like a lot of Marines will just detract because of that. Like, one, that's a really bad example. Yeah, like, also, if you're not rescuing the hero, you're not gonna rescue anybody else.
Also, if Garp does break free and rallies the Marines, I think there's a lot of Marines that'll listen to Garp because he has results over, like, you know, the world government, which is this faceless kind of entity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's, like I said, that's kind of why I feel bad for the world government. Like, they're so heavily outnumbered. Like, who do they have? They have the Gorosei, Garling, the Holy Knights, and that's it.
The God's Knights, who are supposed to be really badass, but we just don't know because we've never really seen them do anything.
Think they'll be badass?
Yeah, they have to be. I mean, they're going to be at least on, like, the level to deal with, like, I don't know, like, if I was going to use an arc, I'd say, like, Wano level at least, because, like, if they're not, then what's the point of even having them as characters? And the Revolutionaries are going to deal with them. Like, we'll have a Sabo fight with one of them. We'll have a Morley fight with one of them. Like, that'll be cool.
Yeah. Maybe even, like, some of the red-haired crew steps in as well, if, like, Shanks has family there.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Shanks' hot sister, who definitely exists somewhere.
I've seen people float that theory around. The people were like, "Hey, Tekken was right about Roto, but what about Shanks' super hot sister?"
Yes, Shanks' hot sister.
I was like, bro, that's crazy.
Wait for it. When that happens, wait for it.
Shanks' super hot sister. My God. Yeah. I'm not saying Bonnie's hot, but there is a theory that Bonnie and Shanks are related.
I have seen that one too. I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I think just because we have so many, so there's like the 19 families that live in Marijois. Yeah. And it's like, we only know about like a couple of family names, and we need to like fill a lot of those out now at this point. So I think Bonnie's going to be maybe part of some other family.
Yeah. One thing that I think is pretty cool is that since Oda's working with the live action, they're able to sneak in a lot of Easter eggs. And one Easter egg they're sneaking into season 2 is a building in Logtown, I believe. That's called Manmire. Yes, I saw that, and I was like, bro,
I saw that.
The Holy Knight lore, it's expanding.
That is deep cuts. That's like that's like Rockefeller or something, which would make sense. Like a family in the world government that has super influence and power in the world would, of course, have like stores and businesses all over the place. Like it's like Walmart in the One Piece world. That makes sense. You know,
I love it, man. I love that Oda's doing that.
Yep, I love it.
I'm excited for the One Piece Wit Studio remake too, because I feel like they're going to be able to slip in more of those Easter eggs. Like, you know, back in the day, they're not able to do it that. But of course, now with hindsight, they can add in all these little details and make it make sense.
With the power of knowing what will happen, we could do something really cool. Yeah.
Like, they're going through Shanks' Vivid Card lore, seeing what his favorite foods are, going to the cover pages, seeing what they drink, and they're like, yep, we're just going to add this all into Shanks. Done.
I love that. It's great.
Yeah, and I think people were afraid about the pacing because they want to, like, reduce how long the series is, and people were scared. But since One Piece is going on hiatus, and since they're retelling Fishman Island, Toei essentially said it's possible, because they're taking Fishman Island, which is 58 episodes, and they're condensing it into 21. So it shows you that it is possible. Like, having seasonal One Piece, it can be a thing.
It can work. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. You know, if it's the format that they, because I want to also see Punk Hazard and Dressrosa get redone as well.
Yeah,
the Dressrosa in particular really needs it.
Oh yeah, Dressrosa and Punk Hazard. I don't think it's more of a pacing issue. I think it's just like the story beats are kind of slower overall.
If you're gonna do Fishman Island and Dressrosa, might as well just do Punk Hazard too. I mean,
yeah, why not?
I think once you get to Zoe and Whole Cake, I think it's fine. I don't see any reason of like going back and redoing Wano. We were just there, you know?
Yeah. So last two questions I want to end off on. One,
yes.
Who is your favorite character in One Piece?
That would be Frankie. Frankie's
really?
Always my go-to guy. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, that explains why. Like at the beginning of this video, like we were talking about Frank, and you seemed like enthusiastic about it. And I was like, oh, he's just really hyper guy. But no, you like Frankie like that.
I am a hyper guy too, but he's also super. Like I've always loved his design. Sanji was my favorite Straw Hat before Frankie, and then when Frankie showed up, like he's a cyborg that runs on soda. And he has all this cool weaponry and stuff. Yeah. And I love his outfit here. Like, it's amazing. I hope he has this outfit with the leather jacket for the rest of the arc. It's great.
I'm looking forward to see if Frankie gets any meaningful upgrades now that he's with Lilith as well. Like, he's with his hero, man.
I think I'm going to do a video about this, but I was so upset that Frankie didn't get any upgrades at Wano. Like, he could have gotten to see Prism Bullets there. He could have gotten some cool stuff at Egghead. So I think I'm just going to make a whole video on, like, the shit that Frankie could have had. You know, like that would be cool.
I feel like he's going to get some significant upgrades here just because, you know, if this is the Atom Tree, maybe he can upgrade the Sunny. You know, they know the world is sinking. Maybe he starts taking the ship to the clouds. That's my whole mindset right now. Like, I want Frankie to build a sky ship. Yep, exactly. Or a ship that runs on clouds, like specifically, like cloud tech.
I think he could do it. He's the man for the job.
Yeah, Frankie's great. Didn't his voice actor step down for the time being?
I think he's getting really up there, and his voices, he just can't do it anymore. And it's like, hey, Luffy's voice actress, I mean, she's getting up there in age too. A lot of them are, you know.
I kind of feel bad for, I mean, not bad for them because they love their job, and you know, obviously it's a really good job at the end of the day. But when they signed up for One Piece 27 years ago, I doubt any of them expected that they'd be here today.
And, you know, like, people brought up the whole idea of, like, when they do the Wit Studio version, it's like, I think, I talked about this, and I was expecting a lot of people to want we want the same voice actors, but I was actually very surprised. A lot of them were like, let them rest, let's get a new voice cast. Let them retire, dude. Yeah. Well, okay, Frankie's voice actor is 65, so he's getting up there. That's, like, retirement age in the U.S., and then Luffy's voice actress here.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Oda. Like, yeah, he has a really successful series. Yes, he's like one of the richest people in Japan. But at the same time, like, I don't think he has the proper time to spend it or like really enjoy life. And same could be said for the voice actors. Like, they're just always working.
It's always rough for the manga because, I mean, I think with Shueisha, they're really trying to make Oda take breaks now. Like he's like, because every 3 chapters or so, there's always a break. And now there's a 2-week break for this. But we've always heard the horror stories about mangakas not having enough time to sleep and they get sick and they just kind of keep having to work. And there's the work ethic in Japan. I mean, like that kind of culture of like, you don't want to be seen as lazy, or you don't want to be seen as like, you know, have you ever watched, what's the zombie anime?
Zom 100.
Zon 100, that's it. Yeah, he was like, there you go. That's kind of a good example of like an exploitative like company in Japan. And there was a documentary I watched about it years ago of like businessmen like going to sleep on benches in the park and just sleeping for an hour, waking up and going back to work. It's like insane.
Yeah. I mean, you know, spinning off of that, like the Japanese work ethic is nothing to scoff at either because they really take it seriously. Like Bandai Namco, for example, they canceled a One Piece game, a Naruto game this year because of decline in sales. And that's unfortunate because One Piece needs a good game, in my opinion. I think we need a really good fighter.
We really need to get a good one. It's hard, man. Yeah.
I ran the numbers on all the anime games ever released. Anime arena fighters for popular series do 10x sales compared to every other genre. So I get it, right? Diversify One Piece Odyssey. It didn't work. It sold 91,000 copies. Sparking Zero sold 3 million in one day. Guys, it's easy. Written the walls.
Is that all that Odyssey did?
91,000. Yes.
In just the first weekend or period?
First month.
First month. Wow, that is low.
Yes, it is very low. It did not sell well, and I get it. People like it, and that's fair. It's an opinion, but realistically, it just didn't sell.
I played it for 3 hours and then got pissed when they took away all my powers.
Yeah,
I hate that shit. All right.
Yeah, and then they just retell the stories that you kind of already know. And it's like, guys, we could have just went with the brand new story, to be honest.
Or
I beat Odyssey. It wasn't worth it.
Just do a tournament fight. Do a Sparking Zero type thing where you just get like every character in the One Piece. There's 200 of them at this point, and just here you go. You want to fight as Gaimon? Fight as Gaimon. Here you go. You can do it.
Yep. Just let the people have fun. And like Naruto, for example, Ultimate Ninja Storm sold 2 million copies. Like, guys,
I loved
Arena
Ultimate Ninja
Fighters
Storm
work.
3. That was my favorite game. You know, with
they're
my friends
amazing.
Playing it. Yeah.
And they're not competitive. You just hop in, you have mindless fun with your favorite characters, and you call it a day. I don't know why One Piece doesn't have that. But yeah, they canceled the One Piece game. And getting back to the work ethic, what happened is that Bandai Namco is now firing employees. Guess what? By not giving them any work. So the people in Japan will go to headquarters, and they'll just sit there and do nothing for hours on end and rake in a paycheck, which here in America, that probably wouldn't work. You know, people would probably just stay on the payroll for no reason. But in Japan, they're quitting because of that.
Oh my God.
Yep. Yeah, it's nuts.
It's a completely different situation. Yeah.
No, One Piece, man.
One day we'll get a good game, Sai. One day we'll get a good one.
By the end of One Piece, I believe it. In the next 3 years, we need a good One Piece game.
By the end of One Piece, there will be a fighter where I'll be able to play as, like, I don't know, let's just say Gaimon against Kaido. That'll be a thing that exists.
Yeah, it's like modern day, we have Yajirobe versus, like, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Sparking Zero.
Sparking Zero, yeah.
Yajirobe is so broken in Sparking Zero, they have to nerf him. He's listed as one of the major notes in the next patch. It's crazy.
That's awesome. I love Yajirobe. He's a great character.
I don't know why. I think he's just like super cheap in like the DB list, and you could just pick him and rule the online matches.
So the first character I played as, I planned to play as Future Trunks because I love Future Trunks, and then the next character I played as was Yamcha.
Oh my God. Wait. When you say Future Trunks, do you mean Super Future Trunks or like Dragon Ball Z Future Trunks?
Dragon Ball Super Future Trunks.
You're a fan of that Trunks.
I like both of them.
Okay.
I like both of them. Yeah, I like, dude, you show me Trunks with the sword, I'm like, I like him. You know, there you go. Yeah.
Dude, I love the Trunks in the Harudegarn movie, where like he first gets the sword
Wrath
from
of the Dragon.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that they gave the sword a backstory.
They do. It doesn't make any sense in the context of the canon, but like, still, it's cool. It's like it's Tapion's sword. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, who's your favorite movie villain
from Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
Let's see. I didn't care for Broly that much. Honestly, I would probably go with like Lord Slug.
The Lord Slug. Wow, okay, that's a rare one. Yeah, Lord Slug. Yeah.
I don't know.
The crazy
Namekian. He's basically just evil King Piccolo, but I like King Piccolo, so let's go.
Yeah, he had a whole like little army too of like weird frog-eyed people.
Yeah.
It's strange. I was a big fan of Janemba. Just like he had that cartoony, blocky effect. He was like, like all of Hell's energy combined together.
Me and my friend Ian used to watch Dragon Ball all the time growing up, and I remember watching Fusion Reborn with him. And yeah, when Goku and Vegeta fuse into Gogeta, that was like peak childhood right there. And the music that plays when he does that's so good.
And then the Stardust Breaker that just one-shots him. And there's even Hitler in the movie too.
Hitler is in the movie, yes. And then Trunks and Goten kill him.
They go into Gotenks to defeat Hitler, which, you know, I gotta say, this is the second time Hitler's been brought up in this one video, which it's a surprising amount, really.
Surprising amount, more than I thought, but, you know, here we are.
I feel like if I were to interview you before this, and I asked you, how many times would we bring up Hitler, you'd probably say 0.
I don't know. I mean, like, if we ever get into a conversation about Charlie Chaplin, maybe it could lead into Hitler. I don't know.
just one way or another.
Here we are right now, yeah.
Yeah, all roads lead back to that guy.
Yeah, unfortunately, that he's an evil piece of shit in history that just people mention a lot.
I feel like the reason I brought him up is because earlier today I saw a meme of people were like memeing on Luffy meeting Loki. And they're like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of the panel from Naruto where he holds out the hand and she's like, hey, Obito, it's not too late. And I guess somebody photoshopped Hitler into it.
Of course they did. Yeah.
I remember like when I was a kid, I was like, dude, if I could go back in time, I'd want to be a medieval knight. And then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I just died of dysentery. Yeah, I was like, I just die in like a day or two.
Not even that, but like, do you like having toilet paper, Sai? Do you like having electricity?
Yeah, I saw a documentary and they were like, hey, they didn't have toilet paper, so what they did is they had a communal scrub.
Yep, that was a Roman thing. Yeah, they had the stick with a cloth on it, and everybody would share it.
Everybody would. They don't clean it, no nothing. Just boom. Hey, you want the scrub? Here you go. I just used it.
People love to talk about how like advanced Rome was, and it was. Like it genuinely was. Like they had hot water and things. They did, but also keep in mind they had a big pool of hot water that just a bunch of sweaty dudes got in and then out, and then the next wave, and the next wave. No chemicals, no chlorine, no way to clean that tub out properly. Disgusting.
They just hoped that the hot water would clean itself. That was it.
I mean, I'm sure they maybe drained it and scrubbed it every once in a while when it started getting a little mildewy, but without any kind of like treatment chemicals, like that would have been disgusting.
Yeah. The movies definitely romanticize it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So last question now: what is your favorite One Piece arc?
Impel Down.
Nice. Oh, you big like Prison Break guy?
Number of reasons. I like the idea of the prison break aspect, but I'm also a big fan of Dante's Inferno. And there's references like the hell levels, and I'm like, that's cool. It also is referencing Buddhist hell, but like Dante's Inferno is definitely like inspired there a little bit. I love Magellan as a villain. I love the introduction of Ivankov. This was also the first arc I started reading weekly. Like I started reading Impel Down in the middle, and that's when I started reading One Piece on a weekly basis.
Oh, yeah, dude, I love Impel Down. I think that would be my favorite as well. Not to piggyback off you too hard here, but...
No, it's a great arc. I love it. Yeah.
One of the things I love most about not just One Piece, but any like shonen anime series is when the villains of previous arcs come together and assist the main character. I think that's one of my favorite tropes. It's overdone, yeah, sure, but I think it's a lot of fun at the end of the day. Like Crocodile,
it's one of those tropes that's overdone, but I love it when it is. You know?
Yeah. Dude, Buggy, Bon Clay, and Mr. 3 going through Impel Down. How can you not love it? It's so silly. It's so stupid.
It's glorious.
Yeah. It's honestly just the best, man.
Crocodile is back. Jinbei is properly introduced. I love how they didn't actually beat Magellan. Like they scored like a victory on him by escaping, but they didn't actually manage to defeat him because he's just that dangerous.
Yeah, and then like Magellan, he really ran the gauntlet. Like he beat pretty much everybody that was in front of him. He even beat Blackbeard. Like Shiryu had to come in and give Blackbeard a round 2 for him to win.
Yeah, like the fact that Shiryu had to save them, like if he wasn't there, they might have just died, is insane.
Yeah, and one of my favorite scenes has to be Hannibal too. Like,
I love Hannibal.
He's a goofy guy, but let me tell you, he really stuck to his ideals to the very end, and I love it. And that's one of the reasons why I really like, not all Marines, but like a majority of the Marines out there, because like a lot of them do sign up to like be good people and like to protect innocent lives, and it's like, yeah, Hannibal's a great example of that.
Now, you could argue that the only reason Hannibal did what he did was because he really wanted to be the warden, and it was like a power fantasy.
Yeah,
and it's like,
that too.
I'm not dying. I'm not letting you escape, because if you escape, I'm not going to be able to be warden. You know, it could be that. But he was a cool character till the very end,
He tried, man. Like, how many people could get so, like, overwhelmed by Luffy and still get up?
Exactly. He took a jet bazooka, and that... Not a lot of people take a jet bazooka at that point in the story. That was the move that finished off Blue and O. And Hannibal was able to get beyond that,
And you could argue that it took 2 Yonkos to take him down. I mean, Luffy and then Blackbeard. Blackbeard landed the finishing blow.
Yes, he did. Actually, I can't remember if it was Jet Gatling or Jet Bazooka. If it was Jet Gatling, that'd be insane, because that was the technique he used to beat Lucci.
Hannibal over Lucci, damn. Yeah, no, that would be a lot on him. A durability feat at that point.
Absolutely, yeah. He's a pretty durable guy. I want to play Hannibal in a One Piece fighter. Come on, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was Jet Gatling. Holy shit.
He took a Jet Gatling?
No. Yeah, he did. He took a Jet Gatling and got back up after that.
My God. I know he took a Jet Stamp for sure, Jet Pistol, but a Jet Gatling above all else? My God.
The move that finished Rob Lucci, and Hannibal was able to get back up after that.
Yeah, I bet if we see Hannibal again, I hope he has a glow up. I hope he's a lot stronger.
Oh no, he's just super fat now. You saw him in the cover page?
Yes, but that doesn't mean that he's weak though. Maybe he's like Shinobu.
Yeah, he's the warden now, and Magellan is the vice warden, and yeah, he got really fat, but he might still be pretty tough.
Yeah, maybe he's like a master of the blade now.
Yeah,
he even has like that crazy like Anubis helmet too, like.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love
he's cooking.
Yeah, he was a cool guy, yeah.
Do you think we're ever going to get an Impel Down breakout? Like an Impel Down 2.0?
Probably, because Doflamingo has to get out. I want to see Bon Clay again. Weevil's apparently going there, so he might have like a role to play in that.
Yeah. They escape and they go and join like Cross Guild or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, thank you, Tekken, for being here. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. Crazy collab. I never thought I'd be able to get you, but here we are, right? Wishes do come true.
Thank you for inviting me. It was great. Yeah.
Of course, man. We should definitely do this sometime again in the future.
Absolutely, I'm down for it. That was a really entertaining conversation. It went in directions I did not expect, but that's awesome.
That's what I like to hear. So, you guys know where to find Tekken. I feel like I don't have to shout him out. He's going to be linked down below if you don't know who he is already, if you haven't been there. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Peace out, guys.
Signing out. See ya.